Laura, you said you fell into this about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
How do you fall into it?
Just people asking me to go on dates and giving me gifts.
So have you made a career out of this?
Kind of, yeah. It's like I'm a businesswoman about it.
So your business is getting things bought for you?
Yeah, I do work.
As well as
this, yeah.
OK. So in return for what? They buy you gifts, you do what for them?
For my time, basically.
And what happens in that time?
Just usually go for meals, things like that, holidays.
Sex?
Nope, never.
Never?
Never, no.
And do they know that before they lavish you with these presents?
No, they don't know that because I don't say that to them.
So you're
they're going to know now.
Well, yeah, no, it would probably attract them to me more.
So you are essentially sort of in the early stages of the relationship, leading them on.
Yeah.
And you are quite happy to say that that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And one man was going to buy you a £33,000 engagement ring.
Yeah.
Did he think that he was going to get engaged to you?
He thought that he would end up in a relationship with me, yeah.
And at what point did you tell him that that wasn't going to happen?
After I got me ring, I kind of cut all ties with him.
Do you not feel guilty?
No.
Why?
Because they would take off me if they could and not feel guilty about it, so...
But do you not think that... I mean, you're a beautiful girl. Do you not think that these men, you know, if this guy proposed to you, he'd obviously fallen in love with you?
No, he was a sleazebag. He's just... He couldn't have had me as a girlfriend, so...
So you do get the gifts valued to find out how much they think you're worth?
Yes, yeah.
And so you got the ring valued?
Yeah.
Which almost makes me smile now, having said what you said, but you thought it was £33,000. It was valued at only five and a half.
Yeah.
Which is still a lot of money for something.
What a cheapskate, eh?
Well, that's why I got rid of him.
OK, so you're not doing anybody any harm.
No.
You know, you say they sort of know about it, sort of. You know what you're doing. You're not exchanging any sex for this. This is just the way you work your life. But you do have 2 children who are 11 and 13.
Yeah.
Are they aware of what Mummy does?
No, they're not aware. I mean, they know Mummy's single. You know, they want Mummy to go on dates, like they want me to find a partner.
Because they want the stuff afterwards, probably.
No, not. They're sick of me. But I'm sure after this comes out, they're going to know a bit more.
Do you worry about that?
No, because I've raised them. They know me. They know the way I work, you know.
But also, I mean, we say it, sit in judgment, but as far as an example to your kids are concerned, I mean, they will know that you were going out with a rich football manager who you then ditched for his richer friend. Because I just said it out loud.
OK, yeah, they will know. But they're not going to be... It's not going to faze my children.
What about, you know, this is your business, as you said, but it's a short-lived business. I mean, with all the goodwill in the world, looks fade, you know, these men are... It's a two-way street here. They want a young, beautiful thing. We'll get on to you saying young, beautiful things on your arm in a moment. But that you won't be a young, beautiful thing. You may be a beautiful, older thing, but that might not be what they're after.
I mean, I'm prepared for that. I didn't set out to do this. I'm not like a gold digger, as in I need to marry someone rich to succeed in life. Like, I have my own plans, I study, I work. So as long as it lasts, I'm going to have fun with it. And when it doesn't, I'm prepared.
Well, let's come to you, Mark, because this is a two-way street. You're aware that this is what these girls are doing, and yet you are happy to be part of this.
Yes.
Why?
I was married for 22 years. I came out of it and I wanted some fun.
But does it not make you feel a bit stupid?
No.
You're the brother of Lisa
mutual.
from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You said you left your marriage after 22 years, and then you said to our researcher, "I like to have a pretty thing on my arm."
That's been rephrased slightly.
No, it hasn't, because I double-checked. That is exactly what you said. I like to have a pretty thing on my arm.
OK.
And so, what do you say to that?
Yes.
And that's how you feel? Is that how you feel about women?
No.
How do you feel about women?
It makes me feel good to be out with a good-looking girl.
And so, what do you think you're going to get out of it?
Nothing, because other than company. You know, going out somewhere nice for dinner. I don't like the term sugar daddy. That's not what I am.
How much do you think you've spent on women of this sort of...
Probably about £57 in the last year.
And what about the year before?
Sorry?
What about the year before?
That's a lie.
A bit more.
A bit more? How much more?
£134 probably. It's not a lot.
So you're quite
Seriously.
tight, actually, really.
I'm very tight.
You said that's a lie.
It's got to be a lie. Didn't cost that much.
How much do you think he's spending?
He's got to spend thousands. You've definitely... I mean, we've spoke briefly. He's the type of guy that usually I would go on a date with.
Well, I've asked for
Because you can tell he's
I was going to say.
Have asked for her number.
I have, yeah.
OK, did you give?
I didn't, no.
You didn't? Why
She
didn't
will.
you give him your number?
Oh, she will.
You will. Yeah, you'll get
We'll
it.
talk about that.
But,
Are you being slightly put off by the fact he's only spent 54 quid in the last
Yeah,
year?
definitely, yeah.
Isn't it? It's all a bit cheap and sordid, really, isn't it?
It's not about gifts. It's about the company and it's about two minds connecting. That's
But
what
Not for you,
To,
though, is
to
it?
me, no.
I think we're on the same page.
To me, I mean, I've met good friends out of it who still give me gifts and they're really good company and they're older than me, so I learn a lot from them. It's not always about the gifts when I know them.
Right.
Yeah, and, like, I get to go places and stuff, like, in the long run. But initially, yeah, it's going to be all about the gifts. I'm not free in my time.
You've got two grown sons, 22 and 19. What do they think about it? Are they worried about their dad?
The older one is completely dismissive about the whole thing. The younger one, I think, sees the funny side of it.
Right,
What about sort of friends and family?
Everybody's very encouraging. They're saying, go on, go out and live your life. Enjoy
Well, you're not
yourself.
hurting anyone, are you?
No.
And you're having a good time.
Exactly.
So good luck to you, in a way, I guess. And it
Thank you.
seems as it's a two-way street and
Yeah.
you're happy to do it. I mean, watch this space.
For more of the same, just click here and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
But to go for your 13th, say, you've said to us that you're addicted to having babies.
Yeah, I'm literally addicted to having babies.
Picking someone that you really, really like David, and then spending a lot of money to look like them, you've got to sort of have the bone structure, the bone structure to work on, because it's going to be very hard for you to look like him.
Like,
isn't it?
obviously, I know I don't look like him, you know what I mean? I'm not that stupid, but I got a long way to go to get my goals to look like him.
How close do you reckon you're going to be able to get?
I don't know, but it's easy, like another 30 grand, because it's gonna like cost some money, like operation to look like him.
Well, what have you had done so far then?
I've had cheek fillers, I've had filler in my chin there. What else? I've had my eyebrow HD lift. What else? I had my lips, my border. I've had my teeth done. I have tanning injections once a month to try and get his skin tone.
What was that, a tanning injection?
Yeah.
Do you not worry about all these sort of things that you're doing to yourself? You're a young lad, you know, that you're putting all these things into your body. Do you worry about how that's going to affect your health long term?
Yeah, I understand that, but if I'm doing something to make myself happy, and say in 40 years' time something happens to me, it's my own fault, and I know it is, but all I'm bothered about, as long as I stay happy.
Oh, and that's the most important thing, you know. If you're doing something and it's making you happy, then sort of fair enough. I mean, there are other aspects of paying for it, which we'll come to in just a moment. But David, of course, is a honed sportsman.
Yeah.
You know, what about the body?
The body, obviously, I'm not slim like him, I ain't got the six-pack, but I do want a gastric band.
And you've been to the doctors asking for a gastric band. And in your words, you said the doctors have kicked you out.
Yeah.
And for what reason?
Because I kept on going and they're saying you want a certain weight, you have to be higher, you know what I mean? And I was saying I really need this, you know what I mean? It would change my life. I had problems all my life with weight. And OK, I'm not just doing it to like get the quicker way to lose weight. I'm doing it, I've tried every diet in the book to lose weight. I've tried every exercise and I can't do it. So I need the gastric band to help me. But when I have that done, I need to still exercise and eat healthy.
Do you ever think about, because you sort of hear all these people that, you know, they feel very unhappy and they think it's the weight that's the reason they're unhappy, and then they lose the weight, and then eventually they look in the mirror and they suddenly realise that actually it hasn't changed anything, they're still unhappy underneath. Do you ever worry that after doing all of this, spending all this money, putting your health at risk, that actually maybe you should just work on you and learning to really love the person that you are now?
I know what you mean, but not really. I'm happy looking like David Beckham, being like David Beckham. I want his lifestyle.
That's an interesting thing to say as well, because David Beckham has earned the lifestyle that he lives because he is an international sportsman and has been at the absolute top of his game. How can you, because a lot of the meltdown on social media over the weekend was the fact that you're unemployed, you're spending your benefits on...
That's the thing, I just want to confirm, I ain't spent one bit of my money on my benefits. I've took out loans and I'm in debt.
But
how
are you
going to pay that back?
Loans.
Yeah, you're £19,000 in debt, aren't you?
That's why I haven't paid for them on benefits, so I can't.
So how are you going to pay that back? And if you said you still need £30,000 to continue this...
I don't know, I do not know.
Isn't that just going to make you sadder?
No.
The fact that you don't look like David Beckham and you're incredibly in debt.
No, I know I don't look like David Beckham at the minute, but at the moment I feel happy, I feel amazing about myself.
Yeah.
I'm in the best place ever I've been these past year.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that lifestyle, because, as I said, you know, we know why David Beckham lives the lifestyle that he does. You've said, I want to be on the friends list of Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Drake and Katie Price. One day Simon Cowell will be picking up the phone to me.
Yeah.
What's your talent? How are you gonna earn that sort of lifestyle? What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I'll do anything, but I believe I know this sounds very big-headed and like cocky, if you know what I mean. But all my life I've already known I've been different. I ain't never fit in anywhere, go at school anywhere, and I believe I should be in TV or acting, or like yourself presenting something, because I never fit in anywhere.
So is that why you're struggling to find a job then? Because you're not happy to just take a job that comes along, you're holding out for something on screen or in the media in some way?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
But it's the thing people ask me a lot, ask us a lot.
Yeah.
You know, how do I get into it? What do I do? You can't get into this game just because you want to be famous.
Like, I don't want just like stuff chucked to me, you know what I mean?
You've got to be good at it.
I want to be good at it, I believe I can, but I want to work my absolutely butt off to get there, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not one of them people where I just want stuff chucked at me. I want to honestly work my absolutely butt off to get my goal.
And my concern is that to pick up on what Holly was saying, is that you've set yourself such a massive goal, way off in the distance, that you're never going to get to that level of happiness until you love yourself.
I do love myself how I am now, you know what I mean? But I just want to look like David Beckham. Like, who don't, you know what I mean? Like, no one can say David Beckham is ugly or is not attractive, you know what I mean? Even people who's not a fan of him, they would say it, you know what I mean?
Well, look, what to say? I mean, it's not really saying good luck with it, you know, just look after you, I think, is all I want to leave you with today. But thank you for coming in and
thank you for having me.
For more of the same, just click here. And don't forget, you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
At 71 stone, if you reach your goal, how would you get to the food without help?
There's plenty of men who would love to be in Sid's position, so I
have people message me every day of just about, you're so lucky, you're so lucky.
How does this work? What are you doing?
All right, so hi, I'm Scott. So what we're doing is we're practicing Tantra, and one of the key things that most people don't realize is that orgasm is different from the traditional release that comes from climax. And so when you're able to separate these things, instead of having the traditional trajectory where you kind of get excited and then climax and then go to sleep, you're able to have an experience where you can keep going and you can start having multiple experiences. And when you start doing this for hours at a time, it builds and builds and builds. And then when you decide to have a climax, you might come down to here, but you're in an orgasmic state that can then last for a long time. So then it'll start kind of going down again, so you can eat and, you know, play and then make love and bring it back up again and so forth. And you can stay in this state.
Okay, I get this from the woman's point of view, from Melanie's point of view. I've got my head around that one. From your point of view, because there is that ultimate moment, you're not doing that for 18 hours, are you? I mean, you'd be an empty shell.
No, but that's the thing. That's what you got to realize is there's two different things. So you can actually have a full body, completely ecstatic, blissful orgasm that's actually more powerful than anything you've done before without the traditional release and the drain of energy.
Okay.
Because it's against two separate things.
Go on, Melanie.
We practice Tantra, which helps us to pull the sexual energy up our bodies and to re-energize ourselves. So actually, the longer we make love, the more energized we get, both of us.
She could be going to sleep at 10, and by dawn, we're like, wow.
Yeah, I could be sleepy at the beginning, and he like encourages me to keep going, and then I just keep getting more energized every time, and we could still be going by morning.
It works the same for guys. Guys can do the same thing that women can do.
Okay, can I just ask you, what does it feel like? I mean, does it feel the same as a normal orgasm that somebody may have, or is it a different feeling to that?
It's much more powerful and more intense, and it's a full body experience. Yeah. So, I mean, it might be like kind of crazy. You've seen like low-level experiences or low-level orgasms just from like hugging and kind of getting the process going, but it gets really crazy after
we've actually got
I mean, you must drive your neighbors bonkers.
We are shocked that they have not called the cops on us yet.
I'm very surprised.
We do live in a house with lots of privacy.
Are you not tempted? Have you never burst out laughing?
Huh?
Have you never just burst out laughing?
Oh yeah. The thing
do all
about
the time.
Tantra is we experience all of our emotions in lovemaking. So we laugh at ourselves, we cry, we rage, we do everything because that's what we're doing is in order to do this kind of thing, you have to be open and be connected with your emotions and your feelings and your channel so that you can feel the energy moving through your body. And that's what makes it kind of a spiritual practice as well as just an orgasmic one.
I giggle during lovemaking all the time. It totally is an orgasmic experience as well.
I mean, yes, clearly. But there's something else that's very interesting here, is that you don't necessarily have to be together to make this work, because this is an energy exchange. Am I right in thinking you can be in separate rooms and do this?
Yeah. So, first of all, we can feel each other even when we're apart. And second of all, we can orgasm all by ourselves just through breathing and like feeling orgasm with God. So like just taking in the energy that surrounds us and just pulling it into our bodies.
Melanie,
and like
how do you
really
switch it off then? If you can just feel this energy from anywhere, what happens if you're like in a supermarket and suddenly you start getting this energy in? I mean, has it ever happened to you in an inappropriate place?
Well, first of all, I don't really feel like any place is inappropriate. Second of all, it's a conscious thing. Yeah. So Tantra teaches us to be conscious about it, so we get to choose to do it. It doesn't happen to us, we choose it.
You can tone it down, or, so it could be a low-level vibration, like we could even be doing that now without, it being too crazy.
Sometimes.
Just a little bit. But then, and then we can rev it up. And yeah, if we're like at the really high intense states, then I'm not really functional, but it only gets that intense, about once a month because we can't schedule 12-hour, 18-hour experiences.
This has been one of my favourite interviews ever. Just gonna point that out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
I'm not sure I've asked everything I need to know.
No, we've got thousands of things we still have to.
I'll call you.
I've only got halfway through this. Thank you, guys.
Oh, so brilliant. Thank you.
Staticcarts.com if you want to learn how to do it.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Just write that down. Oh, right.
Still to come.
Oh my God.
Go to the break. Go to the break.
As you're a female, young female, beautiful female. Is this affecting you? Is this going to change the way you're going to vote?
First of all, thank you, but no, it's definitely not affecting me at all. I mean, I've been in, we call it the cage, so like, because our weightlifting class is in a cage. So I've been in the cage with all men, and I mean, I've heard that kind of stuff directed at me. It is locker room talk. I've been the only female in strength training class before.
Yeah, but the people that you come into contact aren't running to be president of the United States. I mean, this is a man. We've seen his views now of women, the way he treats women, the way he talks about women. And as Holly said, you know, you representing that woman's vote. Your hashtag is Women for Trump. Surely, I mean, how far can he go? Can he say anything?
I mean, honestly, at this point, yeah, I think he could say anything because Trump supporters are so gung-ho Trump supporters. Like, we're not going to accept anything else. And also, like, it's not what's important in this election. It's not who's said mean things. It's the economy. It's the justice system. It's the Supreme Court. It's jobs.
Yeah, but none of which he said really anything substantive about. We don't really know anything. I mean, he's incredibly vague in the debates. You don't know what you're voting for.
Well, okay, so I mean, ISIS. We're not going to release our plan like Hillary Clinton did. I mean, Hillary put it online for everybody to see, including ISIS. I don't know why you tell your enemy how you're going to defeat them, but I just don't think that was a good leadership move. And he has said, I'm going to bomb the blank out of them. So we have some sort of policy there. But, and then economy, he's going to bring back jobs. I mean, he's made hundreds of thousands of jobs already, all over the world. So he's not racist either.
So we can obviously see the level of your politics there and why you're gonna vote for him. But let's get back to that principal issue. The principal issue of the comments that came out over the weekend. Would it bother you if there were a whole load more that came out? Does it matter to you that this man could be the president of the United States and views women in that way?
No, not at all. Because really, let's talk about Hillary, right? So, I mean, Hillary and Bill are the worst supporters of women ever. I mean, Hillary may play the woman card, but she can't because of what her husband has done. And
she does have the advantage of being a woman, though, doesn't she?
She has the advantage of being a woman, but it's also a disadvantage because men don't like females in power. It's just true. And females don't like females in general. Like,
really?
Females,
they don't. This is fantastic. This is enlightening.
Over here, I mean, in America, at least.
Okay, all right. It's fascinating, but it's a fascinating point of view.
I don't know if anyone else has that, Sierra. Do you find that
That's absolutely the most extraordinary thing I've ever had. But I think it's a very interesting thing, and it goes back to what Piers said earlier. It's a similar thing to what we've had here in some ways with Nigel Farage, where there is an anti-politics thing going on. People would almost vote for anyone rather than somebody who looks and feels that they're part of the fiscal establishment, which Hillary does.
Piers, let's just end on you now. Were you surprised what Audra had to say there?
Look, I think that you're dealing in Trump in a very unique political figure. He's not a politician. He doesn't speak or behave like one. He has, by his own admission, many faults. And the way that we interpret him here in this country is very, very different to the way he's been going down in places like Florida and Texas, where I recently spent some time filming, where the Trump train, I can tell you, is off and running and extremely big and vociferous. So the question really is, yes, we can all feel disgusted by what he says about various things, but it won't make any difference on election day. And all Trump has to do, and I believe this has been a strategy from the start, he just has to win in about 4 or 5 swing states, and he's concentrating on the white working class male vote. And in some of the polls that came out from that debate last night, women thought Hillary Clinton won, men thought that Donald Trump won. And if he can persuade 10% more men in 5 states to come out and vote for him, and that's where he's putting all his attention, then Donald Trump can be president, whether people watching this programme like it or not.
For more of the same, just click here, and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
What makes you think you're more qualified than Hillary then?
Well, because I'm rich I'm very, very rich. I'm the smartest guy I know, and many, many people have told me I'm incredible. And I think that alone should make me president.
You see, the thing is that you started off as friends. Didn't she come to your wedding?
Well, you know what? I think that's a misnomer. She crashed the wedding. She drank a lot of the booze. She took 3 of the centerpieces, and she gave a horrible gift. A terrible, terrible. I don't need another set of steak knives. You know what I mean? I'm a billionaire. I don't need that. I need really good gifts.
Piers, will this make any difference to America's gun laws?
Well, it might. I mean, how many times have I been on your show talking about this, never mind anything else, and each time the number of deaths seems to escalate, doesn't it? Now we have the worst ever mass shooting in a country which breaks that record every 6 months or so. You know, important to remember, in America yesterday, 90 other people will have been killed by guns, including 8 or 9 children. 8 or 9 children get killed by guns every day in America. 90 people get killed every day in America by guns. Why will this change? Well, because it's a conflation of 2 great things in America right now, 2 great fears. One, the gun violence epidemic, but secondly, the fear of homegrown, radicalized Islamic terror. And they've come together. Was this guy a member of ISIS? I doubt it very much. Did he just want to have his moment of infamy and attach himself to something he thought was, you know, an appealing entity in terms of ISIS? Yes.
His wife had to be rescued from a violent marriage. This is a man she described as being mentally ill. He had been on a watch list by the FBI, yet he was still able to go in and buy semi-automatic weapons capable of shooting 700 rounds a minute.
Well, look, this guy had 3 interviews with the FBI. Why? Because his work colleagues had said he's making death threats against Jews, against all sorts of different people. He's affiliating himself with ISIS, with Islamic State, and so on. 3 times the FBI interviewed this guy. But he was able, 2 weeks ago, to walk into a gun store, perfectly legally, purchase an AR-15 assault rifle, purchase a handgun, and go and do what he did. But the reason I think it may be a tipping point in a certain degree is that I think many people who are pro-gun in America are actually more concerned about radicalized Islamic terror in their country. And this is a moment where the 2 have come together.
There was a guy on the news yesterday, I think he might have been from the NRA, but he was correcting the reporter who used the term machine gun. And his greatest concern was that the term machine gun was used rather than semi-automatic
Well,
weapon.
machine guns are banned in America. I mean, this is where it's ridiculous. You can't buy a howitzer and you can't buy a machine gun. There's already gun control. So when these gun nuts in America, as they always do, we've had them on your show and mine, when they come out and say, we don't have gun control, they do. There are 50 types of gun in America you're not allowed to have. Machine guns fire 600 to 1,000 rounds a minute. A semi-automatic AR-15 can fire up to 60, 80 rounds a minute. This guy only had to reload once to hit 100 people. And I've used an AR-15 for an experiment when I worked at CNN. Very light, very fast, very easy to use. These are machine guns by any popular definition, except they happen to be called semi-automatic. There was a clip of Barack Obama last week giving an interview, a town hall interview with an audience, in which he detailed a specific case where he'd been in the Situation Room a few days before, and he'd been told about an Islamic sympathizer, US citizen, living in America, who they knew was on websites and talking about ISIS and Islamic State in a very worrying way. He was on the no-fly list, which meant he couldn't fly. They could do that. The FBI can stop you flying if you're on that list. But Obama said, I have no power to stop this person buying guns because of the NRA, the National Rifle Association. Crazy. And then a week later, we have the exact scenario, not the same person, but the same scenario, and the guy kills 50 people. And this is where the NRA, to me, is such an invidious, awful terror group of their own, because they allow the enabling of these people. You know, where would this guy have got a machine gun like this in this country? It's incredibly difficult. You've got to make it more difficult for these people to get their hands on these killing machines.
Reading Donald Trump's tweet 17 hours ago, horrific incident in Florida, praying for all the victims and their families. When will this stop? When will we get tough, smart and vigilant? Well, you're a friend of his. What does he mean by that?
I've known him a long time, and he's been roundly vilified for saying he thinks there should be a short-term ban on Muslims coming into America until they, quote, figure out what's going on. Well, there'll be a lot of Americans waking up today who will have a lot more sympathy with what Donald Trump is saying in terms of the threat that he perceives the country is facing. And, you know, he's right about one thing. I didn't agree with him about the ban on Muslims. I think that's a ridiculous thing to suggest, but at least he has an idea. I don't see much coming out of President Obama or indeed Hillary Clinton. She's very anti-gun, which I applaud. But in terms of how to deal with this homegrown radicalised terror threat, which we have in this country, there will be people here who have maybe come back from Syria, who have attachment or allegiance to ISIS. We don't know where they are. What about just having a new law which says if you are interviewed by the FBI on suspicion with allegiance to ISIS or a fundamentalist or extremist group, then it flags up when you try and buy a damn gun. You know, it is a ridiculous situation.
Simple move.
I agree, but in the last 10 years, there have been 2,000 plus suspected terrorists who have been afforded access to purchasing weapons over in the United States. And until the NRA come to the table and all parties join up to obviously barring individuals from being able to access weapons, and as you say, if an individual's already shown some sympathies towards extremism, suffice to be interviewed by law enforcement, then they should be on that list for the time being.
Well, my brief point would just be, we're all targets. You know, the gay community got targeted on this occasion, but they will go after anybody, ISIS, that doesn't fit their sick, twisted ideology. My advice to anyone about the London Pride, the gay march in London, is everybody come out and support them. Whether you're gay, straight, black, white, Islamic, whatever you want, if you are a peace-loving person that thinks you do not want your life to be dictated to by these barbaric, medieval monsters, then get out and march and support everybody, because we're all in this together.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
For more of the same, just click here, and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
Probably having to put my leg on every day, or like waking up and having to use crutches just to go to the bathroom or into kitchen. I think that's probably what I find hardest, because it's what's changed most, not being able to just jump out of bed and get on with day.
Two people who were aboard the Carnival Triumph, unfortunately now known as the Poop Cruise, were cruise director Jen Baxter and passenger Devon Marble. Good morning to you both. Very nice to see you.
Morning.
Jen, let's start with you first of all. How many people are on that cruise, by the way?
So we had about 3,500 guests on board and about 1,200 crew.
Right, and you've been cruising for years and years and years. You've done this a million times. You've been on the ocean forever. What happened that day when the fire first broke out?
Well, we were having a lovely cruise. It was the last day of the cruise. I'm in bed, 5:30 in the morning, sleeping away, and here's the announcement, Alpha Team, which is a code for crew. There's a fire on board. But, you know, it happens. You know, sometimes there could be a fire in a bin or smoke in the, you know, kitchens or something, you know, so you kind of go, whatever. So I'm thinking I'll just go up to the bridge, which was my job to go, and, you know, it'll be something small, and then I'll make an announcement and go back to bed. All the good. So when I went up to the bridge, as soon as I opened the door, I knew it was not just like a little situation. It was like there's people kind of around and like bells going on and like, you know, radios going off, and I was like, oh.
So then what happened? You lost power essentially to the entire ship.
Not straight away.
Okay.
We still had some power, so I was thinking, oh, they'll just...
It will be okay.
Be fine, right? All right, they'll put the fire out, we're good to go. And then, boom, the power went.
So having no power essentially means there's no aircon, like, how does it affect the boat?
Well, so the ship stops, so you're just floating. No air conditioning, like no, you can't cook any food, so like no kettles, no cup of tea.
The motor stops, you're just drifting, I'm guessing.
Toilets, everything, just drifting off, down.
So then you're cruise director at this stage, so you're now working with the senior management of the ship to try and work out what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Devon, you were a passenger. Tell us a little bit about... thank you for joining us. You were over there in Ohio this morning. Tell us a little bit about the group that you were with and why you ended up on that cruise?
Oh, I was with my entire wife's extended family, and I was meeting them all for the first time, trying to make a good impression on my soon-to-be father-in-law.
Right, okay, so it was quite a pressurised environment, a lovely, fun environment, though, because I think the cruise had started, as Jen was saying, and you see the pictures, it looked like you were all having the most wonderful time, like you would on most cruises.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was the time of our life. We were playing giant chess. We were floating in hot tubs and just having a blast. And we were so excited to go to Cozumel. We ate until our bellies were full, delicious food. It was exactly what you expect from a cruise.
So what happened when it was? Yeah, what happened when it suddenly went wrong, Devin? How did you all start dealing with the emergence of the fact that the ship was drifting and there was suddenly no power on board?
Yeah, I think everyone, like the first 30 or 40 minutes, you're like, is the ship going to sink? What's going on? And as soon as you realize we're going to keep floating, you calm down a little bit, and then it's what's really happening here. And you start walking around and seeing smoke coming out of like the red fin thing that's, I guess, the exhaust. And you realize, oh, we're just floating. So we're just stuck. And then I don't think people realize how much the engine keeps the boat upright vertical, because suddenly everything's kind of crooked. And that was a real problem when the bathrooms stopped working. I don't think anyone expected that one either.
No. And that was, so let's come to Jen, because that was actually a real problem when you're all sitting around going, right, we have no plumbing because the majority of the toilets are electric. There's suction, isn't there?
Yeah.
Whose idea was the alternative options? And just describe them for us.
So we were sat round, going, we need to do something. We've got to do something because we don't know how long we're not going to have power for. And it was me that said it in kind of in joking, right? Well, we can go have a number one in the shower, easy enough, right? And I'm like, well, for the number two, we can do it in a red bag. And it makes sense. So even now, I look back and go, what else would you do?
Because the red bags were sort of biohazard bags. Yeah. They were there for particularly toxic thick bits and pieces, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that your father-in-law there, Devin, with one of the bio bags?
Yes, it is. That is my now father-in-law. His name's Manny. He's wonderful.
So you did it.
He saved his bag, Jen.
So you did end up marrying his daughters. So the story actually does end well.
Yeah, we had a happy ending. We got 2 kids, and me and my father-in-law get along great. We are very close.
Well, you'd have to be, I'm guessing.
Nothing bonds you like the need to use a plastic bag if you've got to go to the toilet.
But Jen, I don't understand.
Best friends now.
Why didn't the boats come out and kind of pull you back to shore? Why didn't that happen?
Well, they did.
Eventually.
They eventually. Because we didn't know what was going on. So they had to, they put the fire out. So at that point, we're like, okay, we're all safe. We're going to be okay. We're just floating. So it was when they went to assess the damage that they went, oh, now we know. Like it had burnt through all the wires, so there's not going to be no hope.
Right.
So that's when they said, well, we're going to send tugboats out.
Right.
But tugboats are really slow.
Yeah.
So it just takes forever for the boats to get there.
How long were you drifting, Jen? In the end?
In all, it was nearly 5 days.
5 days?
And what about the air conditioning? How about keeping morale up and things like that? What happened there? Well, because it was Mexico, so it's boiling hot too.
It was hot. The weather was really nice. So no air conditioning. So people were taking their mattresses outside and making tents out on the deck and sleeping on sun lounges. Crew as well were in the crew areas. Because it was just super hot inside and kind of musty and stagnant. And once we realised that it was going to be a long time till the tugboats came, I'm like, we've got to keep these people entertained.
So what
have some fun, right?
What did you do?
So, I got all the dancers and the musicians and everybody, and we did normal stuff. We had trivias going on and dance classes and quizzes, and the comedians were there. They did comedy because we got a little bit of power as we went on.
Right.
We were kind of getting bits going. So comedians on. We actually did a crew talent show, which was amazing. And one of the guys played guitar, and he had been one of the firefighters.
Wow. And Devin, was this enough distraction for you? They also opened the bar, didn't they, at one stage or another? There was a free bar.
They did open up the bar. I think it was enough of a distraction for a little bit at a time. But as soon as your body tells you that it's time to go to the restroom, you really have to deal with a real problem. So I really appreciate the crew. I think they did a phenomenal job because they were in it with us. We were all in it together.
But what I love in the documentary, you were quite ingenious, though, Devin, because you refused to believe there wasn't a toilet somewhere on the ship that worked, and you found a secret loo somewhere, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's because the ship would like tip and all of the fluid would just go one way, and so then maybe a toilet worked, but I did find one. I did not have to use a red bag.
So you didn't.
Wow.
Jen, did you end up having to use a red bag?
Yes.
Wow.
You know, you gotta go, Ben.
Yes.
And then when the tugboats attached and started pulling you back, when they finally got there, the ship tipped too.
Well, it was listing quite the whole time. Like, if you've been on a ship, you know that.
Yes.
Like, with the wind, blah, blah, it happens. But because we couldn't use the ballast to keep it, you know, stable.
Steady.
So it was listing, which you're not in any danger, but it's just... Oh, it's strange to be listening, and because the wind was blowing the ship as well.
Well, Carnival crews have a right of reply. A thorough investigation following the incident revealed a design vulnerability, which was corrected and led Carnival Cruise Line to invest more than $500 million in support of our commitment to robust safety standards. We are proud of the fact that since 2013, over 53 million guests have enjoyed safe and memorable vacations with us.
And you worked with them for another 10 years, had an amazing time?
Yeah, I loved it. It was like the
still
best. Absolutely loved it, yeah.
And Devin, you got a river cruise, maybe not on the high seas, is that right?
Yeah, maybe a river cruise.
Thank you
That
for
sounds
visiting
great.
our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
It's one big minicab, Bill, let me tell you. And ahead of this weekend semi-final, we are delighted to welcome Mark, Victoria, Jess, Tim and Will, who are just some of the incredible members of the Hear Our Voice choir. Welcome along, guys. So nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Mark, we'll start with you. How was the choir established? When did it happen?
Well, it happened just over a year ago. And how was it established is that, sadly, this scandal, as you know, it's been going on for many years, over a quarter of a century for some people that were first impacted. And unfortunately, that bureaucratic procedure before we can get closure, before we can get final feelings, means that every single day the newspapers are talking about a setback of some sort or another. So I just thought, what we need is to find something where we can get an escape from that, but still have a commonality together.
Always hanging over you, I suppose.
Always hanging over us.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have a little positivity, and what better than the joy of music?
And the reaction was incredible from the public. I mean,
Absolutely.
just
They were
unbelievably beautiful. And you had us all in the palm of your hands. It was just so magical. But it was the first time you'd all met up in person, wasn't it, at the audition?
Absolutely, yes.
How many people in the choir? Because there's quite a few on that stage.
There's a couple of people who had to drop out for certain reasons, but we're basically around about the 40 mark.
Yeah. Like you said,
Well, here's the
big minicab.
Who decides who's in the choir? So who's your own Simon Cowell? Is that you?
We have a committee.
Diplomatic answer there,
Because
Mark.
Will,
I like
at
that.
the back there. Will, you weren't part of the choir initially, so how were you roped in?
I love the way you say roped in. Well, when we met, you referred to me as musical director, which I quite liked, actually. I hadn't said that before. But maybe I'll...
Like, that guy looks like the MD.
That works, yeah. Well, no, initially, Mark, who's an old friend through my band, Will and the People, we used to tour in Vietnam, and Mark was out there with us, and he rang me up many years later and asked me to write a song for a choir that he was making. Yeah. I thought, oh, that's cool. And suddenly we're here now and we're going on Britain's Got Talent. So, this is kind of, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, hasn't it? But initially I was just going to write a song. Yeah. And now we've kind of got, we've got 3 songs and we've got a group of people who I know really well, and it's turned into far more than that for me. I feel a part of it now, truly, which is brilliant. Special, yeah.
And just having that connection with all of you, like being together, and the power of music. I mean, it's so powerful in helping you to recover and, trying to just move on a little bit with your lives, right?
Absolutely, it's completely about that.
Because Victoria, your family lost everything, didn't they?
They did, and the strange thing is I didn't really know about all this until about 1.5 years ago when my mum was able to tell me. Obviously, at the time, it was in 2001 when my mum was convicted. We knew something had happened, but I was only 7 years old. My sister was 12. We lost our house. My mum lost her business. Bless my mum and dad, they really worked really hard to keep our family dynamic, and we may have lost our house, but we found another house. But yeah.
It's incredible. That says a lot to them that they shielded you from that stress.
I
And
completely honour that, and I totally understand, because we wouldn't have understood that at
Yeah.
that age at all. But when she did finally tell us, it was like, oh my gosh, it was like all these things came to the surface, and I'm just so proud of them, for all of them.
Tim, what was it like stepping out into that BGT stage for you for that audition? How was it? Like,
it's a totally different feeling to the last 15 years, because for the vast part of that we've been fighting against adversity, and a lot of the time we were sort of kept told we were the only people that were going through this. So to step on the stage with 40 other people feeling as a family was like the most brilliant flip turn of that we could stand together and show that this has not driven us apart, it's united us.
and I guess when you have that, everyone's been through something in their life where they get that gnawing feeling. When you wake up in the morning, it's there. You guys have had that for, like you said, 15 years, right? It's right there every time you... So, in many ways, when you're standing on stage, like most people get very nervous standing on that stage. I imagine for you it was almost a release.
Yeah. It was the culmination of all the work that we'd put into this together, and there were no nerves. We just wanted to get out there and show how together we were.
He's got a lovely voice. I bet you're a baritone, aren't you?
I'm down there.
They've all got lovely voices, I have to say, but the reaction from the audience and the judges, did it just blow your mind? Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I really felt the support in that room. It was honestly overwhelming.
There's a lot of love in that room for you.
Jess, how was it for you?
Well, when that ABBA song come on, got me going. Oh yeah, I thought I was on stage.
Like a bit Waterloo.
But you've been through a rough time. So how did the choir help with your recovery?
It put it behind me. Like we were all in it to have some fun. We've been through so much. Mine's been going on for 16 years. So I was part of the drama series. So my story was featured in the drama series Bates versus the Post Office. And it was just nice to know that I was asked to take part in the choir. And to be standing in front of, like, how can I say it? I did say it's nice to be standing in front of nice judges and not to be in a courtroom of judges. Like, we're not going to be worried about getting sent down, going to prison or getting hefty fines and all the rest of it. We were there to be happy, and obviously all our families were there. We've made a really big family out of the choir. And obviously they're all watching, hopefully. So yeah, we've made a very big family, which we're going to continue. And let's see where this takes us. I just can't wait for Sunday, because it's just going to be so. It's going to be a very, very emotional day for everybody. But we're going to be happy. It's going to be tears of joy if we have tears.
Well, let's talk about Sunday. How are we feeling? Come on, guys.
Can you reveal what song you're singing? There's so many questions.
We're not going to reveal what the song is, but we can tell you that we really do think you're going to like it, that the audience are going to be moved. We just get a lot of connectivity out of it within our choir as well. So looking forward to it. It's going to be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
The whole country's going to be rooting for you, aren't they?
It's something like, sorry to interrupt, like our children are with us as well. So that makes it more special for us. Like Mark's daughters with Vic's obviously representing her mom. Myself and my son's going to be with me, Tim, and obviously Will here. He just makes us laugh all the time. He makes us, he keeps the school going.
Director. He's got a new title.
Well, listen, best of luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you so
much.
You've obviously been through so much, but just as the Department of Business and Trade spokesman just said, we recognise the suffering victims of the Horizon scandal that Mark, Victoria, Jess and Tim have suffered. That's why this government has quadrupled the total amount paid to the affected postmasters to provide them with full and fair redress, with £964 million having now been paid out over 6,800 claimants. The BGT semi-final continues this Saturday, 7 p.m. on ITV1 and ITVX. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Good luck with it. Good luck.
Let's hear that big baritone in the back, baby. Take it home, Tim. Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
What were you expecting with your first baby to have to feel?
Well, I mean, you see, you read all the books and you go to all the classes and you do all the work, like the post-work up to it, and you think, right, well, when the baby comes, there'll be this instant kind of bond and you'll be like the kind of picture-perfect family.
You were excited? You wanted to be a dad?
Yeah, I mean, we meticulously planned the baby because my wife's a teacher, so we've gone for the school holidays to get everything.
Well done.
But then kind of, we'd done all that, and like I said, been on to the classes and we'd painted the nursery and we got everything ready and we were really excited. And then the birth came and, I mean, it's...
You were there?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say anything like it's traumatic for me because obviously for the lady, for the wife, it's horrendous. It's...
But they're very different experiences, I think.
Completely.
You know. So what was the experience for you?
It was... I mean, I felt almost... what's the word? I felt it was my fault because, I mean, it takes two to tango, and then she was
and you're
there,
thinking,
and it was my fault. I've done this to my wife,
yeah.
and it was horrendous to watch, and more horrendous for her. And then afterwards, you're given this small pink person, and they hand you to it. And I've got hold of Monroe, and it's the first time I've met her. Now, Effie had already started to get a bond. As soon as you find out you're pregnant as a lady, you've got 9 months of kind of feeling all the
moving and
movements,
kicking,
and you kind of your bond's growing. Whereas when she was born, that was the first time I'd ever seen her. And had hold of her.
So what were you expecting? You know, I'm sure you'd imagine that moment. Someone's going to hand me my baby boy or girl, and I'm going to feel what?
Oh, a massive rush of emotion, a connection.
Yeah. And what did you feel?
It was just like meeting somebody new for the first time. I was like, hello. And I felt really disconnected, which kind of, I felt like there was something wrong straight away because
And Jonty, was there something wrong?
So there's definitely... I don't think at that point there's necessarily something wrong, but I think increasingly, as time goes on, if you're noticing that actually that connection isn't forming, and that's absolutely what happened to Mike, then yes, there is. And we know that 1 in 10 men suffer with depression following the birth of a child. So it's an incredibly important thing to recognise.
I can understand the bond thing not happening. I'm sure we could all look at people in life and think they're not very close to their children, and maybe you sort of understand that. But the depression thing, I find harder to understand. That why it was so much your fault. Was it because you loved Effie so much? Do you think that you wanted? Was it more in love with your wife than you were with your child?
Well, for me, the way what happened was I wasn't jealous of like the baby taking Effie's attention away from me.
Yes.
What I was kind of jealous of was the bond they had. Because what had happened if the baby would cry and I'd have hold of her, and I felt at the time like that she hated me. As soon as I went near her, she started crying. She didn't want anything to do with me. I couldn't do anything to soothe her, to look after her.
Yes.
But as soon as she went to Effie, she'd just go quiet.
So all these things they're small things if you take them all individually, but they were just building and building.
Yeah.
You also had to rehome your wonderful dog that you'd had for many years because you were saying he was getting a bit anxious about the baby and attention.
He became quite possessive of the baby, and he was a bigger Alaskan Malamute dog. We'd had him for 7 years, and he was Mike's first baby, first responsibility, and we tried to do all the bonding, the classes, the training, but they weren't connecting.
But we're here to talk about Mike, I suppose. And Doctor, what should he have done, or anybody finding themselves in this position? Because, you know, the fact that we're seeing this is so unusual. The fact that we're talking about it here today either means that he's a one-off, or men don't like talking about this.
Yeah, so we know that men don't like talking about their feelings, do they? So, I mean, I think whether it's following the birth of a child or at any other time, men don't seek help when they're feeling depressed or when they're feeling low. And it's really, really important to talk about it. And I think, Mike, you'd agree that simply the act, and certainly men I speak to, the act of sharing how they're feeling is a huge relief. And so often that's the most important thing you can do.
Effie, was it you that pushed Mike to get help? When did you start thinking, this is not my husband, he's not enjoying fatherhood and there's something wrong here?
Well, we grew up as childhood sweethearts, and we'd been together years beforehand, so I knew he was not himself. And I knew the father he could be, and he just didn't seem to be enjoying it, and we began bickering and arguing, and we never really used to do things like that before. And I could just see it and we could feel it, and I said, look, you need to go and speak to someone. We're not working as a family unit. I felt like I was on eggshells.
And are there people to speak to? I mean...
There is and there isn't. I mean, we didn't know. There's quite a lot of people now that actually said, I actually felt like that at the time. I can't believe it's a real thing. But you went to the doctors, didn't you? And spoke to a counsellor.
So you went to the GP first, who referred you to counselling?
Yeah, so I went to the GP, and he said at first, if you go NHS, it'll take 8 to 12 weeks, but you can go private. And because of kind of the way I was feeling and wanting to fix the situation, I said, right, well, I'll go private.
And was the situation fixed?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, now we've got our second child, Leo, and it's everything that I wanted to have at first with Monroe. I've got with him. Yeah. Because I recognise the signs. I know that.
But do you and Monroe have a bond?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
In fact, talking of which, hello. Who's
Daddy's
this
girl.
beautiful girl? Where's Daddy?
Beautiful dress.
Good morning.
Yes.
Hey, Monroe.
Oh, everybody wants Daddy.
Everybody wants Daddy.
Everybody wants Daddy. Oh, hello.
But, Jonty, again, it's lovely to see how this ends up, and it shows that help is out there, and if you seek that help, it may not seem that there's light at the end of the tunnel, but there is.
There is, absolutely, and I think actually from my point of view it was really interesting when I knew we were going to be talking about this. I was thinking about whether I'd ever seen a man with postnatal depression, and I've asked some colleagues, and I think we have probably seen depression, but we don't, as GPs, make the association between that and the birth of a child, because we tend to associate that with women.
And is it recognised now, do you think?
I don't think it is, and I think it's so important that actually that we absolutely acknowledge that this is a real issue.
It was slow to start, but then manifested quickly. I was manic, I wasn't sleeping. I had an hour and a half on average a night, and I went through a 19-hour labour, and obviously I'm a new mum, I should have been exhausted and I wasn't. I had racing thoughts, I was talking 100 miles an hour.
You said you got the feeling that you had an IQ of 1,000, you could have, if someone had said learn a language overnight, you could have done.
Yeah, I felt like that.
So, and that's when, with this sort of lack of sleep, the hallucinations started. So what sort of hallucinations were you having?
By day 7, day 8, I started to see my mum, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago.
Right.
I didn't talk to her necessarily, but she was there, and also a man was in the house who I thought was going to kill me. He kept coming and going when I was upstairs.
There were, at no point did you, were you or your husband, Adam, were you concerned about Leo? You were never going to hurt Leo, but there was a serious danger you felt that you might hurt yourself. And so you said to Adam, will you make sure that you take all the knives away?
I did, yeah. I mean, I was very aware of what was going on. I had a lot of insight into what was happening to me, whereas a lot of women don't. But I reached breaking point because no one was willing to help us or diagnose me, and I just didn't know what to do with these. I had 1,000 thoughts in my head. I was trying to get them out. I was hallucinating, delusional.
Why? Because it seems extraordinary, because I remember when I did NCT when I was pregnant with Harry, and I know that it was one of the sort of things that they spoke about there, you know, and the midwife that came round would always say, sort of go, and how are you feeling? Are you okay? And was quite good on that sort of thing, and you appear not to have had any of that support at all.
My husband and I also did NCT locally, and postnatal depression was touched on, but I'd read baby books. I'd never once heard of postpartum psychosis.
The problem is that also, I mean, you then started to seek help, and you went to various midwives, you went to medics.
From day 5.
Yeah, back to where you'd had the baby in the first place, and they said, oh, well, it's out of hours, nothing we can do, and you had, also you're working very closely with them now to make sure that
but unfortunately my manic episodes happened overnight, and out of hours help is actually quite difficult to get with.
So it was a midwife who said, right, okay, I do spot a problem here, and she got a psychiatrist involved.
We called the midwives on the night of day 8, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm manic, I'm crazy, I need your help. And they sent 2 midwives to the house, and the following morning they did organise for a GP to come and see me, who didn't diagnose me. She said I didn't need medical intervention. A psychiatric nurse came, she told me I did. I didn't trust her, because you do have trust issues when you're suffering psychosis. And because I trusted my doctor, she said I didn't need medical intervention. Obviously I didn't then believe the psychiatrist. And it took that night, we called the midwives again, we called an ambulance, we called the police. Nobody would take responsibility for me, and no one would diagnose us. So diagnosed me, but my husband and I would just, we cried for help. We spoke to 15 medical professionals.
Well, thankfully,
so confusing, isn't it? I mean, and obviously there are one in 1,000 women will go through this. What is potentially extremely dangerous?
Yeah. So this condition is a complete psychiatric emergency, and what's really key is making the diagnosis, because actually, once a woman's diagnosed and treated, like you were, they can get better very quickly.
Well,
and
clearly,
the
I mean, this is not that long ago. I mean, you were sections for 13 days, just 13 days, got the correct treatment you wanted, and now you're back on track.
Yeah, it's about 8 weeks ago.
That's unbelievable.
It's the awareness, lack of awareness, really, in picking this up. And I think, you know, unfortunately, in your case, it was really, things weren't very good. But I think people know about baby blues. Most women will have some baby blues in the first couple of weeks, and even postnatal depression, which affects 1 in 10. Now, this condition affects 1 in 1,000, so it's actually rare. But you know, the consequences of it being undiagnosed can be really, terrible.
What do you spot? What are those initial symptoms?
So the early signs can be low mood or high mood, like you had. So particularly, the things to look out for: lack of sleep. After a baby, women want to sleep. If a woman doesn't want to sleep or is unable to sleep at all, or just unable to do normal daily tasks, or, you know, running around talking a lot, feeling that they're Superwoman, that's abnormal. And certainly any hallucinations or unusual thoughts, unusual ideas would you know, be alarmed.
Well, I hesitate to say where'd you go, because you went everywhere.
It shouldn't be like that.
You should go straight to your GP. There always is an out-of-hours service, and they vary. And if you're not getting help there, you go to A&E or dial 999. Particularly if a woman is in crisis, where she feels that she's afraid she's going to take her own life or harm somebody else. 999.
And don't be afraid to get help, because they're not going to take your baby away from you. You'll get the help, and then before you know it, you'll be back at home and things will be back.
The aim is always to keep the woman and the baby together.
Yeah.
And they're not going to stop you from, you know, unless it's a natural requirement, they won't stop you from breastfeeding. So, you know, it's just important.
Thank you for highlighting this.
Yes, thank you.
I just wanted to raise awareness.
For more of the same, just click here, and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
Guest is a world record holder who achieved the seemingly impossible.
Harry Magard lost both his legs in an explosion while serving as a Gurkha in the British Army in Afghanistan in 2010.
And yet, last year, Harry became the first double above-knee amputee to climb Mount Everest.
Earlier this year, Harry was awarded an MBE for his services to disability awareness. And tonight, you can see the emotional moment he accepted the Special Recognition Award at this year's Pride of Britain. Let's take a look.
I grew up in Nepal and always dreamed of climbing Everest. And I really struggled. And I was feeling so bad one day that if I'm gonna drinking this way, I'm gonna die soon. As I said earlier, you know, my life, you know, it's in my story, but my family will suffer from my legacy. So, okay, I'm gonna live my life for my family. I'm very grateful. Without you, I think I wouldn't be here. Thank you for giving me a second chance to relive my life again.
And Harry joins us. What a wonderful moment that was when they came out on stage and joined you.
It was amazing, and it was a bit overwhelming as well.
And a complete surprise. None of them had let you know that they were going to see you on Monday night? Had any of them sort of let it slip?
No, not at all. I wasn't expecting.
Gosh, the amount of deceit involved in them coming without you knowing is what you need to remember. It was so magical, Harry, on Monday night, being there for us, being surrounded by all of the winners. What was it like for you?
It was a bit overwhelming. I never went to climb Everest for, you know, getting awards.
Sure.
Some of the awards I even didn't know. But I think it shows that anything is possible, even though we are disabled. But also, I think it shows that people with disability also can be proud of family, community, and country.
Can you tell us a little bit about your story and serving in Afghanistan?
We just
was sent to Afghanistan. We were supposed to be there for 6 months, but very early in our tour, we were on foot patrol, and I was blown up, and I lost both of my legs. And one of my colleague was just behind me, and him like other people who did amazing job, patched me up and rescued me on time. So I'm here today talking to you because of them.
And their quick thinking and the love that they show towards you.
But it's more complicated than that. I mean, clearly the explosion meant that you had to have double leg amputation above the knee. And then from somebody who had been very fit and very healthy and taken great pride in your role in the Gurkhas, to have to deal with the fact you've had that amputation, that was a very dark time for you, wasn't it, Harry? Can you explain a little bit about what you went through learning to live with what had happened to you?
Yeah, it was very difficult. The first thing was I didn't know how powerful is the mind. Another thing, I didn't know about disability. And I knew that some of the disabled people were nicknamed from their disability when I was growing up and how they were treated. So I thought that my life is completely finished and I'm going to live my life as like them. And
so growing up in Nepal, I think you were saying that there was a lot of prejudice towards disabled people, and that was your experience. So you were worried you were going to be a burden to your family.
Yes, so I would be a burden to my family, which is a burden of the earth. No, so you are pretty much you are useless pretty much, and also. Many people in Nepal, but not just Nepal, later I found that around the world, disability is perceived as a sin of previous life. And I really suffered, I really struggled because of that, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what can I be able to do. So that took me to quite a difficult time, and I was trying to I was drinking so much to just control my pain and emotion. I was trying to take my life, and some of my friends, in one point, they actually rescued me. But some ways later, I went to do sports, and yeah, I'm here.
Well, I was going to say, what was it that changed your mindset? What was it that made you see the light? What was it?
One day I felt absolutely terrible. I felt really bad. And just looking at my son, he was 2.5 years old, simply, if I die, it's end of my story. But my family will suffer because of me, and my young boy, he will suffer because of my, me, and they have to leave my negative legacy. So even sitting on a wheelchair somewhere, I think if I'm alive, I could able to still advise something to do and say, okay, I don't want to die anymore. No. Then after that, it was completely magical things. And I think life, it changes from very little moment, sometimes even by a word, by a phrase. So, yeah, one moment you want to do something, then you want to do everything.
I mean, and when you say magical, he's magical.
And you want to do everything, but what you did was extraordinary. Climbing Mount Everest, the first person to do it, changing the law to make it even possible. When you look at these pictures, does that feel a little surreal, Harry, just thinking back? Or can you still remember every agonising step?
For me, every step is a struggle. And sometimes I think that, what am I doing? And also, is it worth of doing it? And the answer always comes yes, because I really struggle nearly 2 years just not knowing about disability. So I want to make awareness of disability, that people with disability needs to know that we can do something. But also it's not just us, but we need to make aware to our family, friends, community and authorities so that they don't discriminate and ban us, but support us the right way. So we also can live happy, successful, and meaningful life like others.
Flourish.
Yeah, there's no stopping you.
There is none.
None.
Harry, thank you so much for coming in and singing us. It's an amazing thing to see you tonight as well on Pride of Britain. Everyone's going to absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what happens next as well. The next adventure is just around the corner, I know.
Thanks,
Absolute
Harry.
star.
Thank you very much. Thanks for
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank
having
you.
me.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Now, we are very excited about this next guest.
Yes, in her first ever live television interview. It's always a little bit scary. Her Royal Highness Princess Beatrice joins us now. Trust us here in This Morning. We are live from the Empire State Building, but we're unlucky with the weather, aren't we?
Good morning, Your Royal Highness. Thank you so much for joining us. You are on top of the Empire State Building. The weather doesn't look too great there, and you're there supporting your charity, Outward Bound. Can you tell us what's going on, Beatrice?
Good morning. It's so wonderful to be with you, and I absolutely promise I really am standing on the top of the Empire State Building in New York, even though the weather looks a little bit grey. I am here to kick off an amazing challenge which is called the Big Rappel. So I work very closely with an amazing organisation in the UK called the Outward Bound Trust. I've been involved with the organisation for a few years now, and this amazing challenge is a phenomenal collaboration between Outward Bound Trust, Outward Bound International and Outward Bound New York and all of our project partners to raise a little bit of awareness about what Outward Bound really stands for. And really the charity is here to think about what young people really need to thrive in life. And we've been working since the 1950s to think about collaboration, resilience, finding your true self, and we do this in various ways. But nothing better than really sort of taking that example of what the charity stands for and making some fantastic individuals, 25 to be exact, abseil from the top of the Empire State Building. This is the first time this challenge has happened, and it's phenomenal to be a partner of this.
Beatrice, I'm trying to figure out what's more terrifying. Abseiling down with a view or into the abyss of fog. How are they all feeling this morning?
I've had a chance to catch up with some of the participants, and I think they're feeling really confident. They have a very rigorous safety team who have taken them through a couple of days of fantastic training, and I think for them, they're really taking this into, taking it in their stride. I think they would have loved for a bit more of a view. I think it's such a momentous day to kind of stand at the top, but it's still spectacular to do the project.
And it's a charity that means an awful lot to you and your family, of course, because your grandfather was involved in it way back in the 50s, wasn't he, Prince Philip?
Exactly. So it's one of the reasons why I'm so thrilled to be a part of the Outward Bound. He studied under Kurt Hahn, who was the founder of the charity when he was at school at Gordonston, and really summing up what sort of he's really strived for throughout his legacy, founding, not only the Duke of Edinburgh Awards, but also Outward Bound, really thinking about what young people need. And fascinatingly, even though this charity's been around for such a long time, that legacy for young people is still the most important thing and at the very core of what Outward Bound really stands for. What do young people really need to thrive? And actually, I've had a chance to meet some of the young people over the years of my work with the charity. And sometimes it's a case of, they can come out of their comfort zones. They're taken on these amazing adventures. And in some stories, they're seeing stars for the very first time. Oh. And that really is what the charity is all about. It's taking those opportunities and giving them to young people.
And how high up are you at the moment, Beatrice? And would you fancy an abseil yourself?
Oh, goodness. So the wonderful thing about being involved with the charity is I've taken a whole charity approach to this one, and I'm really thrilled to support the participants. But I'm gonna let them do it today and cheer them on from the very top.
But today's the perfect day because you don't know how far up you are. It's one step.
I have no idea. No idea. But, the Empire State Building is such an iconic building as well. So it's pretty wonderful to kind of feel the history. It's been around since the 1930s. And, so no better place to collaborate than on the top of a beautiful building like this.
Your mum took a big step into the unknown this year when she joined us on the sofa and presented part of the show. Did she enjoy herself?
She absolutely loves working with this morning team. I think it's one of her favorite things to do. You know, she's such a phenomenal icon, and as a mum, she's been amazing, and she's been through so much, and her sense of sort of purpose and resilience really keeps me going. And she absolutely, I thought it was one of the most hilarious segments I've seen for a while. I watched it sort of half under the sofa and half sort of like, come on, Mum, you can do it. So it was a great day.
Beatrice, how is your mum? Can you give us an update on her?
She's doing really well, thank you, Josie. Yeah, you know, she's had a bumpy health scare last year, but no, all clear now. And I think at 64, she's thriving. She's been through so much, but I think really now she's sort of coming into her own. I think we're just reminded when any parent or individual has a sort of a health scenario, just really get the checks that you need to get, and as early as you possibly can. And I think, both my sister and I are so proud of her for taking those steps to get those checks. And it really modelled our health sort of considerations on that. But we're really lucky in the UK to make sure that you can get those checks as best you can, and hopefully we can do as much as
Beatrice,
be there to support each other when anyone goes through a healthcare
That's
scare.
been the message from all your family, because it's been a tough year for all of you, hasn't it, across the board? And it's interesting watching you all come together and supporting each other. It's been heavy going, I know.
And will you send
and there's nothing more important than family.
Yeah, we're all big fans of your mum here this morning, so will you send your mum our love?
It's beginning to look like a Spandau ballet video at the moment with that fog coming in, Beatrice. We can barely see you. I mean, you're disappearing into it.
I know. I'm still here. Of course, I will send your mum, my mum, your best, and when I'm back in the UK, maybe we could do something together.
Oh yeah, we'd love that. We'd absolutely love that.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of New York. Is it your second favourite city to London?
Well, I had the opportunity to live here for a couple of years, so I've got some wonderful best friends, some fantastic kind of local haunts that I really enjoy. But New York for me, when I was figuring out my life and what I wanted to do, New York gave me a place to kind of have a job and just get on with it. So New York has always had such a special place for me, and and also for Mum as well. I mean, she came out here, started her charity, Chances for Children, back in the day. And so New York for us has always been a great city to spend some time in.
It's also, I mean, look, when you're a member of a high-profile family as you are, going to somewhere like New York, particularly on a day like today where no one can see anyone, it must be lovely to live in relative anonymity over there when you're there for a while, right?
Yeah, and I came to New York for my job, to go and sit in an office and do the things that I've been really passionate about in technology and digital inclusion. And so these are one of the reasons why New York really kind of created that environment. And I learned a lot. I was quite young when I was here, so I was really excited to have that opportunity. But now very happy to be back in the UK with my family as well.
And do your children spend a little time there, Beatrice, as well with you?
My little ones are phenomenally excited about coming to travel, but my daughter is 2.5 and I haven't yet braved the international flight.
and how are they? And I suppose as a parent, you realise the importance of doing activities like this.
Yes, I'm as a parent, when I think about some of the opportunities that Outward Bound gives to young people, it even more just sort of gives them that sense of determination. Young people these days are having to go through so much with social media and with the debates around screen time, and actually we just need to make sure that there are places like Outward Bound, which are phenomenal, offer phenomenal programs, to make sure that every child gets the best opportunities to think about confidence, resilience, and these sort of essential life skills that mean that any challenge that they can look at, we can give them and sort of a bit more support. And, you know, as I said, I've had a chance to meet some of the students that have been supported by Outward Bound. And even in New York, listening to the stories with Outward Bound schools, I'm just so inspired that, you know, something that has got such a phenomenal legacy is still relevant today to make sure that young people have what they need to thrive.
Beatrice, I know you're not doing your first abseil today, but you have done your first live television interview.
I cannot believe it's your first live. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Princess Beatrice.
You're very kind.
Oh, thank you for joining us. I still cannot believe this is your first live broadcast.
And
You've been incredible.
Lots of love to all the family and everything they're going through at the moment. Okay, take care of yourself.
Thank you so much. You're very kind.
Cheerio.
Take care. Bye, Beatrice. Bye-bye.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
They're the 10 and 11-year-olds who've taken matters into their own hands to improve what's on their school lunch menu.
Yeah, after researching why school dinner uptake was low, organising taste testings to encourage others to try new foods and growing their own veg, they've been nominated for a Jamie Oliver Good School Food Award in recognition of their impressive commitment.
The Asset Arrows, that is a good name, and I need to find out exactly who came up with it. Join us now, alongside Deputy CEO of the Asset Trust, Jackie Bircham. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, everybody.
Morning. Jackie, let's start with you. How did this come about?
So, Asset is 15 schools.
Yes.
Every school elected 2 children who would represent all children, pupil voice. And we bring them all together half-termly, and we ask them to really think about what they want to change, what's important in the world, and what they want to lead. So there's 30 of them all together, and they call themselves the Asset Arrows.
It's a brilliant name. Where did you came up with the name, didn't you? Did it take you very long? Did you have all different names before that?
Yeah, we had a few, but I thought Asset Arrow was really good because it incorporated our logo.
It's a brilliant idea.
And you're moving forward, surging forward, making a difference.
Yes.
Jackie, what didn't always start with food, though? It wasn't initially just food that you were charging the kids with thinking about and talking about, was it?
No, we spent some time thinking about how they feel about the world, what's fair, what's not fair. So we played a game where you go over this side of the room if you think something's fair, you go over that side of the room if it's unfair. So we said, footballers get paid more than firefighters, and they were like, definitely unfair. Children
Depends if you're a footballer, though.
Well, yes. There was a little bit of debate. Not everybody went all on one side, some potential footballers. And things like, you know, there are children who have to pay for education in other countries, definitely unfair. And then we asked the question, adults get to pick what children eat. And they went one way, then they went the other way, and then this wonderful debate started. And really what came out of it was they said, well, you know, we might eat chocolate all the time, we might eat sweets all the time, but it's important that adults make sure that we know what's good for us, that we get a good education around food, that we choose foods that are right for the planet, and adults need to kind of step up and make sure the choices are there and that we know what we're choosing.
Brilliant.
So that was why we did it.
So, Logan, Emma, why did you want to change your school lunches?
I wanted to change my school lunches personally because I thought there wasn't enough variety as such, and I felt that other people were the same, so I thought I'd try and opt in and help them.
That's a great idea. And Emma, were they healthy enough for you, your school lunches?
Yes, they were healthy enough, but sometimes they were a little bit unhealthy, so I thought maybe we can make them a lot more healthy.
Nice. So, Guitars, you guys set about trying to change the menu and come up with new things. What sort of things have you started putting on it?
Well, there's these Nigerian balls, and they, Jack said they look like chicken.
Right, OK.
Yeah.
Nigerian balls that look like chicken?
But what are they made of?
It's like bread or something. I don't know. They're very sweet and it's like the perfect amount. It's very nice. So yeah, it's like Nigerian puffs or whatever.
Brilliant. So you started trying to find different foods from the different cultures of all the kids that were in the schools and their families and stuff. So what have you enjoyed about that then, Jack? So other than the Nigerian puffs, anything else?
I've enjoyed. What have I enjoyed? That's a lot. I've enjoyed making the foods with
people from different cultures because, like, in this country, it's like mainly English people around. And, like, I just feel like having other people from other countries and, like, cultures and stuff coming here and cooking with us is just very nice.
Yeah.
Makes you understand everybody better,
sure.
doesn't it? Faith and Elsie, how did you choose what recipes went into the book? Because I'm guessing you've got loads. Did you taste test them all? What did you do? How did you choose it?
So we let our school decide because this is what they want. So we done like a survey sort of thing to see what people like. Yeah. And then we asked people to make their own recipes that is personal to them and their families, and they think it's healthy and enjoyable to everybody else. So we decided that, and then people just gave us their ideas and recipes and we put them in a cookbook.
Lovely. Elsie, what recipe did you come up with, or can you remember?
I came up with some cheese scones.
Nice. Who likes the cheese scones? Yeah.
Yes, favourite.
What is a cheese scone?
It's a cheesy scone, Jack. It's not compared to a Nigerian puff puff, but trust me, cheese scone. You've got to try some of Elsie's cheese scones. They're sensational.
Jack, have you been growing vegetables as well at your school?
I mean, I can't really remember vegetables, but I remember...
When you say you can't remember vegetables?
I can't... We have been, like, growing stuff.
Oh, nice, OK.
What have you been growing?
I kind of forgot, but I think we've grown a few potatoes and stuff like that.
That's good.
Just basic stuff and, like, weeding and stuff.
Do you enjoy that part of it?
Love it.
Getting stuck in, getting your hands dirty?
It's so fun.
Yeah. For sure. And Lila and Jada, I know that you guys chose the name, or Lila, you chose the name, but you've been doing some blind tasting as well, as we were talking about. What sort of things have you been blind tasting, and what sort of difference does that make to some of the other kids, just in terms of whether they want to try stuff or not?
So we're gonna add like some new food things on our school menu. But before we do that, we're gonna do the blindfold tasting. So we're gonna have all the year groups from our school, except for year 6. So we're gonna give them 3 different types of foods, so they can try it before they can have what's on the menu.
Right, it's not like a bush tucker drill that Ant and Dec would make you eat, though, is it? This is nice tasting stuff.
It's a bit like that. Oh,
is it?
No grubs.
And Olivia and Esther, you cook community meals as well. Do parents get to try the food too?
They don't actually, but we do. We make it at schools,
right?
So that the children can try too.
Oh, excellent! And what's been the favourite at your school?
Lasagna.
Lasagna. What about you, Olivia? Have you got a favourite that you've discovered?
Probably the like the cheesy bean wrap.
Cheesy bean wrap. There's some amazing things. So obviously, you guys know you got nominated, Jack. What did it feel like when you found out that Jamie Oliver had nominated you for this award?
Felt all right, I guess.
Yeah.
Did it?
It felt good.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Well, you guys have been working really, really hard.
You have. And actually, the exciting news doesn't stop there. We've got some more exciting news to share with you.
So obviously, you got nominated for this year's Good School Food Leader category for Jamie Oliver's Good School Food Awards. Well, we can announce that you haven't just been nominated, you've won. Congratulations.
You guys, well done.
Here we go. There's Good School Food Leader Award.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, here you go. This is your award.
That's for you.
Would you like to hold it, Jack?
And that's not all. Our friends at Merlin have kindly provided you all of you, including all the members of the Asset Arrows who can't be with us today,
in total.
entry to a Merlin attraction of your choice. So you get to go to a theme park and have a super-duper fun day out.
How does that sound?
Good?
So good.
Yeah. So good?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah? Oh, my God. Do you like roller coasters?
Yeah.
OK, well, buckle up.
Do you like roller coasters more than Nigerian puff puffs? No, it's a hard choice.
Hard choice. Well, thank you for coming on the show today. Congratulations, you guys.
Yes.
You're winners.
You're doing an amazing job,
You
Jackie.
are.
Thank you for bringing them all in as well, and the parents and all the assistants as well. There you go. You're going to all fight over who's going to take the trophy home.
Take the spoon home.
But it's been lovely to see you all. Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Almost 9 million Brits are currently taking antidepressants. But it seems not just humans who need help.
Well, vets have reported a huge surge in prescriptions of puppy Prozac as owners use medication to help treat their dog's behavioural issues.
And that includes our next guest, Emma Reid, who says they've currently cured their cockapoo Chester of his anxiety.
But are they really safe to give to your pooch? Well, Emma is joining us now with vet Dr. Sean McCormack. Welcome to both of you. And welcome to little Chester, who's got his back to us at the moment. He's just chilling out.
He
looks
having a
like
belly
he's
rub.
really having a lovely time. So, Emma, we're going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about Chester. When you got him, what was his behaviour like?
Yeah, we got him as a puppy in 2018, so before lockdown. He was definitely Captain Cautious, on the cautious side of life. He wasn't a really, aggressive sort of out there puppy. Yeah. And we did loads of training with him, socialised him, stood on the street with fire engines, ambulances, so he was used to everything.
So you went for it?
Went for it. I had my list, I popped balloons, everything. And then we went through adolescence, which is when dogs can sometimes regress a bit in their behaviour.
Yeah.
And then we were towards the end of that, and I noticed that he suddenly was really anxious on walks. He started randomly barking, sometimes lunging at people. I couldn't pinpoint it to a particular type. So it became really stressful for him and for me. And in the family home, having visitors was difficult. They'd come in and he'd bark a lot. He'd run away. He was obviously a bit scared. Yeah. It was very difficult to manage for everybody. So at that point, I tried the training and then I sought the help of a behaviourist. Who went out on walks with us, saw that...
so they actually come out and they monitor the situation?
Yeah, to see what he was like in certain situations and also try other forms of training with him.
Right.
But it was evident that he was so stressed that he couldn't listen. So that's when she suggested fluoxetine, Prozac, as an option to take the edge off so that he could train and learn. So that's...
You must have, because when you hear that word Prozac, it's like, what?
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I was exactly the same. I was, really? And, when I mentioned it later to friends, their initial reaction was, well, firstly to laugh and then go, really? And then we talked about it. So, yeah, I never knew about it before.
So what did you notice with Chester and his behaviour, and how long did it take before you noticed a difference?
It was more quickly, it wasn't instant, but it was more quickly than I thought it would be. We just noticed that we were able to start to do more stuff. So you were able to intervene before he maybe barked at people. He was just slightly calmer, and then that got better and better. I mean, for example, this would have been a complete...
Could we not have done this?
No, I would never have come out here. I wouldn't even go into cafes and things with him a few years ago because he was just too stressed and that wasn't fair on him. So, it's a balance of putting them in the situation but also getting them used to the situations. You can't hide away.
OK.
Yeah, I think most pet owners as well, kind of, like, when it comes to medication and stuff like that, it's... You hear people around about bonfire night when there's a lot of loud explosions, and I think a lot of people have done that. But this is... Today, when I read about this, I was like, wow, this is totally new.
I mean, what are the people's reactions when you tell them that they're on puppy Prozac?
They think it's hilarious. I mean, he's not a puppy, so I've got to make that clear. So he's now 7, but he started taking it when he was beyond 2, basically. They do think it's hilarious. I'm able to laugh at myself because it sounds like, ridiculous dog owners who can't train their dogs and they go for this option. But no, I think done responsibly, it's helped him enormously.
Well, let's talk to Dr. Sean, because there's a massive surge in this drug being used at the moment. Firstly, is it safe for the dog for you to be doing this?
It is safe for the dog. So people are surprised to hear that, human Prozac, it's the same drug, fluoxetine. It's a serotonin reuptake inhibitor is how it works. So it increases the level of feel-good hormone, serotonin in the brain. It helps with anxiety, it helps with mood, it helps with energy levels. And for certain dogs in certain circumstances, it can really improve their quality of life. Because it's important to say that if a dog is in a really anxious state all of the time, that's a welfare issue. That dog is not enjoying itself in normal life. So for some dogs, they do end up on this drug long term. But normally how we prescribe it is as an aid, a short-term aid to get them out of what Emma says, that heightened state of anxiety, so that you can focus on behavioural modification and getting them used to the things that they're afraid of. So normally it's kind of prescribed as a short-term kind of adjunct to behavioural therapy.
So you're not using it forever?
No. Do you know what's amazing? As you were talking, everything about that, then I was like, wow, we have come a long way since Barbara Woodhouse. Do you remember? It was just like, shit! And now we're sort of like looking at medication, anxiety in pets and all that. It's crazy, like, what goes on now.
Yeah, our approach to dog behaviour has changed, and most of the time now, qualified animal behaviourists are looking at what's motivating a behaviour. Why does the dog do that? Is that a natural and normal and advantageous behaviour for a dog? Or is that really a behavioural issue? And for Chester, he was fearful. One of the symptoms was he would bark. And to a dog, actually, that's quite a clever thing to do, because if he barks at a stranger coming towards him in the park, either mum will take him away from that scary thing, or the stranger will give him a wide berth. And for him, that barking worked. That is an advantageous behaviour, so he'll learn it. And for these little breeds, these are complex little characters, cockapoo, a mixture between a Cocker Spaniel and a Poodle. You've got bags of energy, you've got super intelligence, and they figure things out very well and learn how to cope, but sometimes it can be antisocial, it can cause stress for the owner. It's not nice to have a stressed out dog, is it?
Even though it's called puppy Prozac, you wouldn't give this to puppies, would you?
We don't give it to puppies. Emma did the right thing. She got Chester before the pandemic. That's caused a whole rake of other problems, which we'll get to. She socialised him, she did everything right.
Yeah.
But we can't medicate puppies when they're in that early development phase. And one of the most crucial development phases for puppies especially is called the socialisation window. And that's not, going out for brunch with their mates or going to a puppy class once a week. That's getting them used to everything in the world that they're going to have to get used to and realise it's no problem. A fire engine goes past, or a person in a wheelchair is a common one. People say, my dog's afraid of people in wheelchairs. Probably because they just never experienced it before they were about 18 weeks of age. So really important to socialise them well.
Dr. Sean, just while I've got you, can you prescribe anything for my cat? Because he's got a really bad attitude.
Does he?
Doesn't even look at me.
OK, well, that's just a cat's prerogative, I'm afraid. Yeah,
there's nothing we can do about cats, is there? That's just how they are.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, if someone is watching at home and they're worried about their dog, would you suggest this, or would you say just go and get a full checkup, maybe at the vet?
Yeah, I would never suggest Prozac as a quick fix solution, first solution. It needs to be in concert with a physical exam by your vet, because sometimes some of the symptoms of anxiety, trembling, strange behaviour, aggression, they can be signs of pain, for example, can be signs of neurological issues. So you need a checkup by a vet first, make sure there's no medical cause. Then you need to go, as Emma did, to a qualified animal behaviourist who will come and watch you with your dog and see what's going on. And then, only then, maybe prescribing something to help kind of with the behavioural modification.
Well, he's definitely chilled out, isn't he?
That's nice and chill.
Look how chilled out he is.
And he doesn't like fireworks at all.
Does
Out
he
of
not?
everything else, fireworks not a problem
my goodness.
at all.
We've had a
A right
message
of
here
reply,
from British Small Animal Veterinary Association. Dr. Julian Horde said, fluoxetine could be hugely beneficial, helping more than half of dogs with separation anxiety or dominance aggression, but he also warned against drawing parallels between depressed humans and dogs, saying we don't know whether dogs have the same sort of mental health issues as people.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I think as society changes and as the role of dogs in society changes, one of the mistakes we're making, I think, is that we're humanising dogs a little too much and we're forgetting that they're dogs.
Yeah.
We're not learning their language. We have expectations of them. You know, we're expecting dogs not to behave like dogs. So there's been a wave of pandemic puppies, and there's been a great study by Dr. Rowena Packer at the Royal Veterinary College looking at the pandemic puppy boom. We saw the population of dogs go from 9.5 million to nearly 14 million in just a couple of years. And by and large, I'm making sweeping statements, but by and large, a lot of them were first-time dog owners, inexperienced dog owners maybe who hadn't had a dog since their childhood. A lot of the puppies were bred to meet the surge in demand, so not necessarily bred very well or with regard to their temperament.
Yeah.
So there was problems there. And then it was a perfect storm. We were all locked down, so you couldn't socialise your dog. You didn't have access to help to a behaviourist. You know, so it's not people's fault, but we were all in a situation where some people said, this is the time I can get a dog. And I really want to get a dog. But for me, in my lifestyle, in my work life, I can't get a dog. So I've gone head over heart. But a lot of people went for that, and it has created this wave.
Yeah.
And I think, hopefully, we're riding the crest of that wave now, and the population of dogs that need Prozac, hopefully the next wave along will be better able to cope with life.
Yeah, thank you so much for explaining so well. And Emma, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Chester, I mean, we can see it's working.
I'm taking him home, I think.
He's lovely. He's not having it, look.
Good boy.
Thank you so very much. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
Imagine this, you wake up one morning to find that you've lost the ability to walk and talk, literally overnight. And that's exactly what happened to our guest today, former semi-professional rugby player, James Sutcliffe.
Now, if you look at a photograph of James, you'd never know anything was wrong. But for the past 9 years, he has been battling a neurological disorder, the debilitating neurological disorder, which changed his life overnight. Now, he's here with his wife, Samantha, to discuss this. And the thing is, James can't really discuss it, Samantha. James can't really talk a lot about this. And can you tell us why?
Yeah, basically, James has a rare neurological dysfunction disorder called dystonia, which basically affects his speech. So it makes him hard to kind of communicate via talking, and this pretty much happened overnight. Yeah.
Very, very frightening for you, James. You know, you're a fit guy, you know, having a normal life as a 23-year-old. What can you remember that morning when you woke up? What did you think had happened?
Woke up okay. I had nap in the afternoon, and I woke up, my speech was slurred, disorientated. I found it hard to eat and to drink.
So literally your speech is slurred. I mean, that's very frightening. You can't eat or drink. What did you think?
Was it a bit like having a stroke or something?
Well, initially, that's what we thought it might have been. Obviously, for something to happen kind of almost instantly, I mean, he literally did go to bed and wake up and he is as he is, if not worse. So, I mean, for James, it was absolutely frightening. And I mean, we were all kind of taken aback when we first kind of heard James's speech, but it was kind of one of those things where we thought, you know what, this is going to sort itself out. And we didn't really know what to make of it.
But the man who you met and you fell in love with not too long before, you hadn't been going out for a long time.
No.
But suddenly this guy had changed. He was a completely different person. But it didn't change you.
No.
You stayed in love with him. You stayed with him.
Definitely. Look at him. Yeah, I mean, James is James to me. You know, just because he's kind of has his disability, it makes no difference. He is.
And you can obviously understand James a lot more than other people because you're with him all the time.
99% of the time. Yeah. Occasionally I'll have selective hearing when I don't want to hear what he's saying.
How frustrating is it for you not being able to communicate as you could?
At the start, very hard. Now, I'm just used to it.
Just used to it, yeah.
It's me. I can't change. It is what it is.
How long before you got a diagnosis? Because there was quite a while when everyone was a bit baffled by this.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was actually 4 years.
4 years?
4 years since James's first symptoms that he got a diagnosis. And during that 4 years, James actually developed symptoms in his hands, and his hands curl inwards involuntary. And it makes it very hard for him to do kind of just general tasks like getting dressed or, you know, opening
But you just never give up. You never give up. And,
No,
you know, no
but-
matter what these doctors said, you just challenged it, challenged it,
Yeah.
until you got that definition of dystonia.
That's right,
Right.
yeah.
So then you knew, right, this is what we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what you also had to deal with was you love the socks of this guy and he loved the socks of you. And a big thing for you was to be able to say what?
This is a lot clearer. Not very clear. It's clearer. Makes a lot of a difference.
So he's saying how much he loves you, and it got clearer and clearer. Give him a hug. Give him a hug for that.
Well done.
How much did that mean to you?
I mean, it was amazing, yeah. I mean, James is very good at telling me every day that I look nice and that he cares and loves for me. So he's really great. But for him to actually definitively say it, obviously it's an amazing feeling.
And when you got married, it was too much for you, James, you said, to do your speech and vows. And...
Yeah, I'm too embarrassed. Not saying that I can't do it, saying I can do a speech, I can't hard.
But if you've met a surgeon or a doctor from America who's treating James, what's his prognosis now? How would his speech improve?
We met with this guy in London earlier this year, and he's actually a dentist and a craniofacial specialist. So, I mean, the guys that James had been seeing were kind of looking in his head. Actually, what's going on is in this area. It's in his jaw.
I think his jaw's not aligned.
This is it. It's called your TMJ joint, and it's almost like a C-shaped disc here.
So what's he doing here?
So here, this was a test that Dr. Mayer did, and he basically popped some spatulas in James' mouth to elevate the jaw. And the idea of this is to put the jaw back into alignment, okay? And when he did that, when he removed the spatulas, James could speak a lot clearer, and he could use
straight away.
Pretty much, yeah.
Good luck, and
Thank you.
continue to improve, continue to stay in love. And it's just been an amazing story. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having
Vicky says
us.
he's an inspiration and role model to children like my son, who also has dystonia.
That's
so thank you very
amazing.
much for raising
That's
awareness
amazing.
as well.
Yes, definitely so.
Good
Thank
to meet
you.
That is the film that brought us to horror, Hysteria. Incredible movie. Head-spinning moment none of us will forget. 50 years since The Exorcist hit the cinemas. We're joined by someone who knows a thing or two about hunting spirits.
Yeah, on the surface, Reverend Jason Bray is your ordinary Anglican vicar, leading christenings, weddings and funerals. But for the last 27 years, he's also been hired to hunt down demons as a real-life exorcist.
And he's joining us now on the spookiest day of the year. Morning, Reverend.
Morning, Reverend.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
No, thanks for asking me on. I'm thrilled to be here.
Wow, thanks for being part of this.
So,
Are you quite
only person
impressed?
not in costume, but brought the hats.
There we go.
We like
You're
it.
in. You should wear that all the time, by the way. You look great.
I wear that quite a lot of the time.
So,
Given half
talk
the
us
time.
through this. Your day job is working as a dean.
Yeah, so I'm the Dean of Llandaff Cathedral in Cardiff. So, sort of slightly weirdly, the cathedral in Cardiff is sort of at the edge of the city, and it's like sort of walking into a sort of medieval film set, really. You know, you sort of walk in, and it's just different, and the cathedral's at the bottom of the hill, and it's a stunning place to go.
Yeah.
And so that's my day job, and basically I run it, and lots of meetings, lots of lots of meeting people, lots of meeting tourists as well. So we get a few of those, do some more.
Yeah.
And lots of services as well. It's a cathedral, so we have a fantastic choir. They sing pretty much every evening, and then lots of other things going on as well.
It's a busy job, right?
It's a really busy job.
Busy job. It sounds incredible. So how did you fall into this? Did you have a moment with a particular spirit yourself?
Yeah, so when I was first ordained 27 years ago, we lived in a house that was basically get allocated a house.
Yeah.
So we saw the house first. It was in January, so it was cold and it was dark and it had been empty for a while. We thought it was just a cold, dark house. And it never got warm and it never really got light. So we moved in June and it just stayed that way.
It didn't feel right.
Yeah, it just didn't feel right. In fact, it was really cold in some places. So a couple of months after we were there, our first son was born, Tom. And so, you know, we got this sort of nursery for him. And his room seemed to be colder than any other.
Which is always more acute when it's a nursery, isn't it? You always notice it a bit more.
Yeah, you sort of notice it and you think, well, you know, is it because it's got 2 external walls?
Yeah.
Is it you know, bled the radiators, turned the thermostat up? Nothing seemed to work. And it just stayed that way. And in fact, it seemed to sort of get worse. Okay, went into the winter and then came out of the winter, thought it'll just warm up in the summer, and it didn't. And then 2 things happened. So I went off on a course for a couple of days, and I came back, my wife, Laura, really not impressionable at all. And she said, there's something really odd about this house. She said, because, you know, it was cold in Tom's room. She said, well, it was so cold when I went to, you know, when I went into the room because he was crying, it was like walking into a freezer. She said it was that cold. Not making it up, she said, I had to have him in bed with me, and I think there's something really odd about this house. And then I had a sort of weird experience myself.
Yeah.
So I was reading in bed, went to the toilet and sort of came out the bathroom door and I didn't see anything, to be honest, but there was like this sort of impression of somebody standing on the other side of the door, about my height, grey eyes, and with like a sort of mask on, a bit like most of the people around here today. But with this sort of big wooden mask. And and was just sort of staring at me with unbridled hostility through the door.
Wow.
What on earth is going on? So, you know, just sort of plucked up the courage and opened the bathroom door. Nothing there. Threw myself under the duvet, and Laura said, "Well, you know, are you all right? You look like you've seen a ghost." I said, "Well, I haven't seen anything, but." So she said, "Well, you know, get your boss in." So my boss, the vicar, came round and he splashed holy water around the place. He said a couple of prayers. We said the Lord's Prayer together. And the house sort of just returned to the way it should have been. It sort of lifted it, and it was sort of warm, and it was comfortable, and it was a nice place to be. A couple of things happened afterwards. I had a conversation with somebody who said when they were building the house, they disturbed a Roman graveyard.
Right, okay.
You know, and so...
I bet that must have been a nice, relaxing chat for you.
Yeah, so, you know, the house was all right by then. And that's
Jason,
how I got into it.
So when you... It's going to sound weird, because you're a man of the cloth, so therefore... You know, there is a leap of faith involved in everything that you talk about and everything, you know?
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, when you're telling your fellow kind of lay preachers and clergymen and so forth, is there scepticism from them?
Yeah, some of them don't really believe in it.
Yeah.
Some of them think it's a whole load of rubbish. Some of them don't want to go anywhere near it at all for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So every time we get called out, we speak to the local vicar, and you just get this sort of, no, you deal with it. Don't want to, don't want to go anywhere near this.
So
Thank
what
you very much.
happens? And so in terms of the training, what happens? We haven't got that long, but what happens? And what the tools of the trade?
Right,
can you
okay.
show us?
Right, tools of the trade.
Oh,
okay, so
it's like a little doctor, isn't it? Look at this.
Doctor, yeah, hey. So I've got various bits and pieces. That is a stole that I wear around my neck.
Yes.
When I'm doing these things.
So you'll go into someone's house.
Go into somebody's house.
You'll put that on.
Yeah, we have a conversation. Try to work out what's going on.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it can be, it can be them. Sometimes it can be because there's, you know, for want of a better word, a sort of ghost or a presence or something like that. Sometimes it can be because, they've got some sort of condition or they're on medication that makes them see things or whatever. But we always have a conversation. And then I usually bless the house. So I've got this spectacular thing. It's a holy water sprinkler. Basically...
sprinkle that around?
Yeah, so...
you bless that yourself?
Yeah, bless that myself.
Yeah, bless the studio if you want.
Go on.
Go on. I don't... Oh, can you not just do
Too many
that?
spirits here to exercise.
Too many spirits here to exercise,
Don't say
that. So I've got a holy water bottle, so I sort of carry that with me and then bless it at the time. So there's that. That's really important. And then if there's... maybe on the second visit, if you have to go back and it hasn't settled, we celebrate the Eucharist, communion, Mass, whatever you want.
Do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, all the bells and smells.
So with the, not necessarily. But,
do you know what? I'd like to do this when I'm moving into any house. Do you know what I mean? I think it'd be a good thing to do just to move into the house.
Actually, we do that. Yeah, we do that sometimes. So sometimes people will say, actually, just moving into a new house.
Just want to make sure everything's all right.
Yeah, it's just, it's a nice thing to do, actually.
It really is.
So, and, from a Christian priest point of view, what we're doing is sort of bringing the love of God into that situation, wherever it is.
Right, and I guess even if, like you said, some people are ill and some people have, the medication, it just gives people a bit of calm and a bit of kind of serenity, I suppose.
Yeah, and, you could say that a lot of what we do is actually bringing reassurance.
Yeah.
So people are always frightened. When they get in touch with us, they're always frightened and they're always we just sort of say, actually, we're here to help.
But Chase, before we let you go, you've never seen The Exorcist?
I've never seen... No, I've still never seen it.
It's such a good film.
It's too frightening. I'm not into horror films at all.
No, I'm not into horror films at all. My son has watched them all and he's the expert.
No, don't watch it.
No, still never seen The Exorcist.
Well, you wear the hat well anyway, so...
Yeah.
Thank you, Reverend.
Reverend, thank you so much for joining us today.
No.
Really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
And please do bless the studio later.
Yeah, feel free to bless. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
Now, we're remembering one of our beloved This Morning family members today, 19-year-old Matthew Locke. Matthew first appeared on the show back in 2020 and charmed the pants off us with his enthusiasm and love for gadgets. We often had him review everything from vacuum cleaners to phone cases.
Yeah, however, just over a year ago, Matthew tragically took his own life. And his parents, Richard and Christine, have since been campaigning to raise awareness about ADHD and the increased suicide risks that come with that. Welcome, Christine and Richard. Thank you so much for joining us. We absolutely adored your boy. We loved him, didn't we?
He just had this passion and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And he had funny bones, he was kind, he was caring.
Yeah.
We didn't get to meet him an awful lot, like we only met him a few times, but he was a breath of fresh air when he came into the studio.
A real character.
Yeah, and he loved coming in.
Did he?
That was his passion.
Yeah.
And he loved his vacuum cleaners, didn't he? He loved them vacuum cleaners.
Yeah.
He was so passionate.
Oh, yeah.
Where did this all start? Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, it was sort of from an early age. He actually started to sort of pick up and just love the things. And then he actually started to repair them. And that sort of grew. And he had an incredible ability just to find what the problem was and fix it. A young engineer in the making.
Yeah.
And it grew and grew. And he ended up with his collection of over 100 vacuums. And his social media then grew and the story sort of got out there.
And his passion was unbounding as well. He was so politically engaged, wasn't he? He was a councillor, and I know that he met many politicians. So,
that's right.
He just had the rest of his life ahead of him.
So, he was so loving as well. Like, he used to pick up litter, didn't he? He'd go out and he'd pick up litter.
He would help anyone. He would talk to everybody in the community, young, old. He was caring, sensitive. But that can sometimes be an ADHD trait, that you can be overly sensitive.
Yeah.
Basically, emotional dysregulation can come into it.
He was diagnosed with autism at 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, the signs of ADHD were missed. But I suppose from your point of view, when you have that diagnosis, you go, well, in many ways, great, because that's what we get. That's what we have to work
That's
with,
exactly what we thought. Yeah. We thought, OK, so that's why Matthew hyper-focuses on maybe one
He's
thing.
funcking, he's great, he's got a great world, great life.
He'd gone through school and was doing all right, he was getting through, and he'd gone to, or he's going to university. I remember Chris coming into the bedroom one night and go, how's Matthew going to cope? I think he's got ADHD, there's more behind this. And we then pursued a diagnosis, and he did eventually get diagnosed at 19, but it had been missed from the age of 14 right the way through to 18, 19.
On reflection now, looking back, can you see that all the traits of ADHD? What were those traits that you noticed? And when you look back now, you can go, it was like so obvious.
Lack of focus, inattention to things he wasn't interested in. Disorganisation, everything last minute, if he wanted to do something,
yeah, I'll do it now.
Yeah.
You know, we couldn't say, well, I'll tell you what, should we do that tomorrow? Should we plan? No, I'll do it now. I've got to do it now. And then different focuses. He'd have a hobby and then love that for a while. And then that was it. I'm finished with that. I like doing this now. But he was very sociable. So the autism side, I thought, well, perhaps perhaps this is ADHD as well, but we didn't realise that the two can coexist. We didn't realise that.
Yeah.
And I imagine that
typically about 80% of people with autism have ADHD as well. It's a co-occurring thing. From the diagnosis that Matthew got, surely they should have looked into that as well.
And what you're saying, I'm sure, resonates with so many viewers at home, whether it's their families or themselves. I listen, you know, you're listing off those character traits, and I was like, I'm a bit like that.
Well,
so you don't think about it, right? Exactly.
But it's when it impacts you. It's when it's persistent and it's showing up in school. You may be having problems. The teacher may be saying, we're having a problem with this young boy, young girl. They're not concentrating. And of course, it does present differently with girls. Girls mask, as we all know. But if this isn't identified early enough, then these layers of self-esteem get battered and the child won't understand, well, why do I feel like this? Why can't I learn like X, Y and Z, my peers? So ADHD is a brilliant thing. It's a superpower.
And the craziest thing, like, adults are 3 times more likely to use drugs. They'll have a drug issue,
or alcohol.
Alcohol, something like that. And our Matthew did struggle with that, didn't he?
Within ADHD, about 50% of people find some form of addiction, whether that be gambling, whether that be drugs, whether that be alcohol, social media. All of those things play into that. And there's a lot of people we've come across, you know, are struggling in that area, but actually just don't know that it's linked to ADHD. There's some work being done by Dr. Peter Mason, who's done a research into treating people for ADHD who have got opiates and other drug misuse. Pretty much all of those people that he treated for ADHD came off the drugs.
Or lessened it.
So it's incredibly powerful. And if people can get that understanding and treatment early, then it's not going to affect their lives long term.
As you were just saying there, guys, you know, it can come in so many different ways. And I'm sure the last thing you want to do today is scare anyone at home.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you've been working with parts of the NHS ADHD task force. Can you tell us what that involves?
Yeah, we, on the back of working with ADHD UK, we did a conference, a global conference, explaining Matthew's story. And there are risks associated with ADHD, but equally there's a powerful story behind it if it's managed properly. So we were then asked to join the task force, which is a collection of leading experts, doctors, and also experts by experience, which we're classed as. And we're hopefully coming up with some recommendations
from
to
our
take this
point
forward.
Of view, our experience.
What would be those, do you think? Just, I mean, obviously you're not there yet, but like, just top of your head,
I
do you
think
think
we need
really need to
earlier.
change?
We need earlier diagnosis. We need earlier screening when a child, as young as possible, because if they're going into secondary years and they've struggled in primary, they're only going to struggle more in secondary years. And that's when you've got to be organised. Peer pressure increases, and these kids want to fit in if they're really impacted by it. So you can be a risk taker with ADHD too, due to the impulsivity symptom. And kids will want to be accepted. So there's higher risk-taking behaviours that they'll take just to fit in. So that could be, OK, I'll try that drug. OK, I'll be the one who jumps off that third step where nobody else will. So interestingly, if it really is impacting, and as we're saying, we don't want to scare anybody, of course, that made Matthew who he was. And I can tell you this, there's no way that he wanted to do what he did. However, the impulsivity and the lack of being able, with executive function, to stop, think of the consequence, he's followed that through. And that
is what we can try and pull back. If somebody knows they do have an impulsive nature, and whether that's associated with ADHD, there are strategies to use, resources to be able to stop, think, reflect, and wait.
Well, listen, anything we can do to help in the future, please just come back, talk about it.
Thank you.
Whatever you need, we're here. He was a cherished member of our family, and by extension, you are. And the way you've spoken today...
He would be so proud of what you're doing as well. And you know you've changed the website for the NHS.
We've got that
so
change. And, you know, all we can do is hope we can make a difference in Matthew's name and change the outcome.
He would want to be here. There's no way.
He'd love this.
There's too many stories where children have taken their own life and they've been struggling with ADHD and struggling to get an assessment, a referral. So we just need to educate ourselves. Thank you.
Richard, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, listen, if you have been affected by any of the issues discussed, help and guidance is available on our This Morning website.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
Today marks a hugely significant moment in history.
It's been 80 years since the liberation of Bergen-Belsen, the Nazi concentration camp, where more than 72,000 camp inmates imprisoned in war died during World War II.
Though 80 years may have passed for our next guest, who was just a child when she was sent to the camp, the horrors of the Holocaust remain all too vivid.
We are joined now by Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen survivor and best-selling author Rini Salt, alongside her son Martin. Welcome, both of you. Rini, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very well.
And sharing the story with us. Let's start before the war. What can you remember about your childhood? You lived in a town called Zunskowola in Poland. What were your memories before the war?
I had a wonderful family. My parents, my younger sister, and my 2 sets of grandparents, and so many aunts and uncles. My father was one of 8 children. My mother was one of 4. So the family was very large, and we had a wonderful, wonderful childhood.
Happy upbringing with a lovely, loving family.
Yes, schooling, and my parents planned such wonderful things for us. They wanted us to go to Paris to study further after school. They didn't think about marriage for us. They always thought more about education.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yes.
And then the war started, the Nazis invaded. What are your memories, your early memories? Because then you were basically forced from your house and moved into ghettos, is that right?
Yeah, first of all, we ran away from our town. We went to lodge. I don't know why people ran away. Perhaps they thought it's a lot bigger town, we might be safer there. But I had my grandparents also there. My father's family lived in lodge. So we ran away to lodge. And after a few days, we had to go back. We didn't have anything with us. We left our home. So we started going back to Zunskowola. And when we arrived near our house, our landlord met us. And he said, the Germans took over your flat and took over everything. You've got nothing to go back to. So we lost our home on the very first day of the war, practically.
So your life is literally taken from you, every single bit.
On the very first day.
After a while, people were moved into the ghettos, and after that,
There wasn't ghettos yet. At that time, there wasn't ghettos.
But when you were moved into the ghettos, life was very difficult, correct?
Very difficult, yes.
And then when it came for you to be transported, how was, you know, we know these names now, they trip off our tongue so terribly, the names of Auschwitz, the names of Bergen-Belsen.
I've never heard of it.
How was it sold to you that it was just going to be a different life?
Yes, they sent us out to different camps. And so we found ourselves first in Auschwitz, and then from Auschwitz I was sent to Hamburg.
And really, before you get on the train, what were people telling you about where you were going?
Oh, we are going to better places, of course. You'll be better off. You'll have plenty of good food, good living accommodations, good medical care. All they wanted that we should go quietly.
Serena, you're reading your story. The saddest thing is how you lose your family so...
Yeah, gradually.
Gradually and incrementally. So suddenly someone walks that way, you never see them again.
Yeah.
Your father turns a corner, you never see him again. It's just heartbreaking.
My sister went first. They took her away, and my mother never recovered from it. I still miss her.
Of course.
Still miss her today. And then eventually we lost our grandparents, my uncles, my aunts. Everybody went.
Really, how do you rebuild?
Bit by bit, they were all taken away.
How do you rebuild when something like that happens to you? How do you keep going? Where do you get that resilience from?
You've got no options, have you? You have to pull yourself together and do the best you can.
Yeah. What's amazing is how you remember this like it was... It feels like you're telling us this story like it was last week, you know?
Absolutely. Not that like it happened 80 years ago. Like it happened yesterday.
It never leaves you?
Never leaves you, no.
Really, for so many people, Auschwitz was the end, but you went to Auschwitz for a small time. You were reunited with your mother through almost luck, wasn't she? She got in the right queue.
She wasn't in the right queue. She was separated for a minute.
Yeah.
Before I had a chance to cry out, she was back with me.
Yeah.
That was her courage, which did that. She wanted to be with me.
Of course.
She wanted to look after me, and she did till the last, till she died.
And then you were transported to Bergen-Belsen.
No, first to Hamburg.
Yeah.
On slave labour.
Yeah.
Had to carry sacks of cement, with cement on my back.
And how old were you?
14, 15.
A child?
Yeah.
You were just a child?
Yeah. I still suffer from my back.
Really?
I still suffer from my back.
And really...
The pain never left me.
It's a very difficult question to ask, but what are your memories of Bergen-Belsen and your time there? I mean, we read so much about it and we've seen the footage, but from someone that was there, it just seems unimaginable.
I came to Bergen-Belsen on a train from Hamburg. They stopped us in the middle of nowhere. They started screaming, "Get off the train, be quick," which we did. We jumped off. We had to hold on to one another to remain standing. We were gasping for water. It was so hot already. And it was April, but still it was hot. They lined us up and they took us to a hut. We were walking through many miles of very woody country till we came to the gates of the camp. They opened up the gates and we were pushed through. The scene that met us there, it's not possible to describe. Yeah. Here we saw skeletons walking.
Oh, really?
Their arms and necks were like matchsticks. Their eyes bulged out grotesquely out of their skull-like faces. Some were dressed in rags, others were naked. The stench that arose from the camp was impossible to describe. We've been through already so much, but this was something different and horrifyingly different.
Oh, really? I know you've put all this in your book, A Mother's Promise, and it is so painful. Me just watching you tell the story, I don't want you to even tell the rest of the story because I know it's in the book, because it's so painful to even listen to. Your son Martin's here. Hi, Martin.
Hi.
What's unbelievable about this story is Rini meets Charles, who was actually one of the soldiers who helped to liberate the camp. And you're the offspring of that beautiful relationship, and we're so happy you're here. Did you know about what your mum went through, and what age did you find out about all these stories?
Well, when I went to school, sort of late 60s, early 70s, there was no such thing as Holocaust education. So the word Holocaust didn't even exist in my mind. My mum and dad never spoke about their experiences, even though they'd both been to Belsen. My mum was a prisoner and my dad is a liberator. They must have had this pact that they wouldn't talk about it at home.
Yeah.
So I didn't pick up anything through school or from my mum and dad. So it was later on, in the early 2000s, when I was 48.
Yeah, 48.
We went back with the BBC to do a documentary about my mum's experiences, and we went to Poland, Germany, and retraced her footsteps. And at that stage, that was the first I knew what she'd, not even in great detail what she'd been through, but at a high level. And it's only more recently, when she's been talking, I've been going to some of those talks, that I've got more of the detail, but at home, I didn't know anything at all.
Why would she talk about it?
She's a mom, she's protecting her baby.
Yeah, and also you want to live a new life, right?
We couldn't talk about it.
Of course.
My husband always had tears in his eyes when we spoke about Bergen-Belsen especially.
Well, Rini, today we commemorate the anniversary of your liberation and those who were liberated at Bergen-Belsen. Just lastly, what message would you want to share with future generations?
What I would like to tell future generations is that they should live in peace and with one another. There shouldn't be any difference between colour of the people, whether they're black, white, doesn't make any difference. We're all God's children.
Rini, thank you so much.
Really, thank you for telling your
thank
story.
You for, and sorry that you have to relive this time and time again, but the message is so important.
Yes.
And thank you so much for coming on the sofa, and you, Martin.
Thank you.
For sharing your story with us.
Rini.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
1 in 5 adults suffer from coulrophobia, the irrational fear of clowns.
Well, one lady who's been affected with this fear throughout her life is Naomi Holmes, and she joins us now alongside the Speakman. So welcome, lovely to see you.
Welcome.
It's not a good start, has it? Got your name wrong as soon as we started the show. 30 years an insurance broker.
Yeah.
And this is one of your earliest memories of fear.
Yeah, definitely.
And so when did it start? Do you know how?
I think I was about 5 or 6. And I was in a video rental store. It's also like a convenience store as well, so we used to go there quite a lot. And I went round to the video rental section.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's this face just staring back at me.
And what was it?
It was I can't even talk about the film. It's a film. It's a Stephen King film.
Yeah. Yes, I think we can all imagine.
Everyone knows what it is.
Yeah.
And I just froze. Like if you see a spider, you freeze with fear. And I just froze. And then eventually I ran out the shop. And I didn't really go back for a few years. And if I had to, with my parents or my brother, I would avoid that section.
Because you knew what might be there.
Because, I felt that it was looking at me specifically.
So this is great, because we sort of know where this phobia has come from. We know the beginning of it, which will help us later on. How has it affected you throughout your adult life, though?
Massively. It affects me, with Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween's coming up, obviously. I can't go out of the house over that whole week because people dress as clowns.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a party, I think, and people are coming over for a maskless party.
We're having a party on Halloween weekend, and it's a no clowns, no mask themed party.
Yeah.
Specifically so that I don't have to go out.
It's not just the Halloween. I mean, you get you have reoccurring nightmares about this.
Yeah, maybe once or twice a month I'll have pretty bad nightmares. And I'm very, very comfortable in my house, but if I have a nightmare, I won't then get up until the morning, until it's light out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no way to live.
Okay, well, let's. We've got you connected to a heart monitor here, we haven't got the output of that, so there's a little point putting it on your finger, I would have thought. We're going to play some music now. So just tell me how you're feeling. Does this music affect you?
You can stop
in
this
any way?
at any point.
Yeah, I don't know that song.
Okay.
You don't like
We'll turn that off.
So
now.
how does that make you feel?
I hate it. It just, I don't know, it makes I feel like here.
Can I ask, in the absence of the heart monitor, if we just to scale it 0 to 10, 10 being massive anxiety, 0 being I'm not bothered, how would you rate that music?
The music, 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, well, we're going to move up to the next level, and this is, I'm not going to show it yet, but this is the photo, this is the picture, this is that picture that caused you all that anxiety to begin with. Am I okay to show this? We're going to put it on this monitor.
Is it on that one?
Well, not yet. Okay. Are you okay for me to? You don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to put it on the screen now.
I'm just going to look here.
Okay, it's there. Do you think you could look at it, or is that... Okay, fine. And again, what Nick said, with your anxiety levels, 10 being the worst, even just knowing it's there behind you?
Yeah, it's
What would you say?
Like 9.5.
Okay, so it's pretty high. Let's get rid of that, right? It's gone. It's gone, it's gone, it's gone.
And obviously, because hopefully you'll be the same as every other person who's ever sat in that seat, in this position, with a phobia. At the end of the show, you'll go, oh my God, I can't believe I was ever scared of these. So, with bearing that in mind, we've got a clown next door, through those doors over there.
Okay.
Can he come in?
No.
Absolutely not?
No.
Could he stand at the door?
I'll go. No.
Not even stand at the door? No. OK, and how do you feel now, knowing that he's there?
Not good.
OK. Are you up to 10 yet?
Just looking at the escape routes.
No, I know. Well, listen, we're not going to...
I told you when you came and sat here we wouldn't do anything you didn't want to do, so that's it. That's the end of that, OK?
I think we've all got a very good idea about how scared you are of clowns. It's very serious.
How confident do you feel?
Well, we've only got an hour, and it is usually a little bit more challenging to work with a fear of clowns.
I mean, the fact is she's had this pretty much all her life because it started at the age of 5, so, you know, adulthood, she's never not had a fear of clowns, so it does make it difficult in that respect. But, you know, we're...
Going to give it a go.
Definitely.
Of course.
We'll have all faith in you. Good luck.
I'm pretty sure you'll be in a different frame of mind when we see you back here later.
Crossed, yeah. OK.
Thanks, Naomi.
For more of the same, just click here. And don't forget, you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
The picture, and this is the picture that we put it on the plasma behind you and you couldn't turn around and look at it. This was the picture that started it all off. Can you look at that picture?
Yeah.
How do you feel when you look at that picture?
It's so weird. Yeah. I can look at it and not run out the door.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've taken control now?
Yeah.
Ross Kemp, Matthew and Brenton starts this Tuesday, 10th of September, 9 p.m. on Sky History, and the man himself joins us now. I mean, me and Al just watched a little snippet the other night of EP.32, I think it is. We're obviously familiar with the mafia in terms of Italy and...
TV. You've got your Sopranos, you've got your Godfather.
Right, yeah. We've read all the books. But the mafia in the UK doesn't seem like a tangible thing. So what was the starting point of this?
Well, the starting point is the death of Roberto Calvi, who was known as God's banker. He was over 60 years old. I remember that. He climbed over Blackfriars Bridge. He got over the scaffolding. He's over 60 years old and slightly, I would say, heavy for his age. Yeah. But he had 5 bricks in his underpants, 2 gold watches and about £40,000 in cash. And the police promptly said, that's a suicide. No, it's not a suicide, because it'd be very difficult to be a suicide. And it was a symbolic killing, and it's never been proven, but we think it was a symbolic killing. That starts the journey, but I end up at a caravan site in Preston looking at an Italian hitman who was travelling from Preston to Naples to make his hits.
So living in Preston?
Living in Preston, stealing a car, driving it, they were looking at Porsches at the time, driving it down to Naples, offloading the car, killing someone at the weekend, and then driving back and spending a week before he drove back again the next week. Jenny Panzuto.
So they're living here and hiding in plain sight? Or?
That's the way it works. And, you know, I've got to say, we travel all over the world. So we start off in London, but then we go to America, where I meet, you know, George the Cowboy, Monterano, Crazy Sal, Polizzi. These are the guys that were genuinely around during the Goodfellas days. These
are quite intoxicating people. Personalities are really interesting.
Like charming. Central casting, charming, but also with that element of complete and utter danger, ruthlessness. George did 33 years inside, the first 3 years in solitary. He never gave up. But a lot of the people we speak to are pentitos, so they've given up information. There's one of them, Dominic Sigali, who makes me look a bit like a munchkin. He's absolutely charming on camera, but I've got a screen grab of him when he wasn't looking so charming, and he is terrifying.
So when you're in those situations and you're confronting people like that, how do you know that they trust you, first of all? How do you know they trust you? How do you know that your safety is going to be OK as well, and the crew as well?
In the series, we go from being, say, in the UK to being in America, going down to Miami, looking at the connection between the mob and the cocaine trade. And I ended up It suddenly stopped becoming a history programme and became real when I'm at 4,000 feet, it's 2,300 at night, it's now 40 degrees nearly still at night time, I've got a helmet on, body armour, snake garters, and we're traipsing around the Cauca Mountains, elevating to 4,500 feet, and I'm going, we'll be out by 0300. We're still stumbling around at 8 o'clock in the morning in daylight, and it's FARC territory, and they not often kidnap the soldiers. So I lost the nail on my big left toe. No longer a history show at this point.
You're in pain.
Because the thing is, when you sit down with
fear,
someone
I think,
that used to be in the map, you know you're going to be safe, right? There's no interest in bumping you off. You know what I mean? But when you're up in the wilds somewhere,
exactly.
that's a whole different scenario.
No, absolutely.
Right?
And I think you always have to be on your guard. And then the secret, as you all both know, is you look into people's eyes and you maintain that, and they can look into you because their radar for someone who is a threat to them is way better than most people's.
Unbelievable. So why the UK? Was it a great place for the mafia to hide out?
I just think it's about hiding in plain sight. I think a lot of the people that I met, nearly all the people that I met, never had a choice, whether it was in Italy, in America. They were born into it, and there was no way out for them. Wow. And so the only way out for many of them is to, become a pentito. But some of them have just done their time in prison talk. We speak to Marisa, who lives in Preston as well. She was the head of one of the biggest clans in Milan. She had to take over from her father. She's half Italian, half British. And she used to wear Bridget Jones knickers and stuff thousands and thousands of lira and travel them all around Europe to different payoff points for drugs and stuff.
I guess the lovely thing about the shows you do is you never know where it's going to take you in terms of the narrative of it, right? So there's a great starting point. Mafia in Britain, that's interesting, that's the USP. But then you must be the rabbit holes you go down.
I'm on a caravan park in Preston. I'm now going up to Aberdeen. There was a cell in Woking. And I think that's, again, why they're so clever. They didn't choose London. They didn't choose Glasgow, Manchester, Liverpool. They chose parochial sort of towns where there was something that they wanted, or something that they could do where they wouldn't be seen. And I think the other secret to their success has always been, and I have to say slightly admire it from an observing point of view, is that they're always one step ahead of the authorities. And
they have people in authority working with them as well?
We do. There's one guy, he's called Keith, Keef. He was a custom and excise officer that went undercover for over 8 years. Wow. Laundering money, not only for the mob, but also for the cartels. And they would just come to his flat in the middle of the night. He was given a Rolls Royce that had been taken from another villain. So he lived the life to the point, and I meet another FBI agent, McGowan, 25 years cold calling on mafia bars. So he said to me, this is the first time, Ross, I've ever sat in a bar with my back to the door. And while he was undercover one day, the packs they used to, remember, he's wired. Yeah. If they found that wire, they would have killed him. And the pack went wrong and it started burning his back. And the guy says, they're cooking steaks today. He had to go to the toilet and peel it off his back.
So obviously there's a book that's come from this because there's so much more than you can put on TV.
There's 5 programmes, but I would say that they don't do justice to the subjects or to the access that we gained.
Brilliant.
Unbelievable. We can't let you go until we ask about these EastEnders rumours. What is going on? Are you going back? It's the 40th anniversary.
Yes.
Tell me everything.
Tell you everything.
Is Grant going back?
I can tell you nothing.
But never say never. Never say never.
He's not gonna,
I'm not a pentito.
She's wearing a wire as well. I've just checked.
Exactly. She's
burning.
I am very proud that the show is celebrating 40 years. I wouldn't have had the career, good or bad, without it. I still love it. I still support it. And I would do if I'd come from Coronation Street, or if I was in Emmerdale Farm briefly for a bit. But I'm very proud it's celebrating 40 years. I would support it in every way that I can. I can say no more than that.
If I was the producer, though...
Work upstairs! Smashing it out of the park.
If I was the producer, though, I would...
Well, the thing is, it was such a lovely, iconic time. I mean, the three of you were so brilliant together, and the lovely thing about sort of bringing this right up to the present day is, and I went to go see Taylor Swift, and there was this great moment where every night her dance was this brilliant guy, me and my wife couldn't take our eyes off him, called Cam Saunders.
Yes.
Who does one line, And the one line that he did, this is "We're never getting back together," I think, yeah. And he did the Barbara Windsor, "You get out of my pub," right?
Get out of my pub.
It's just
And she lives on.
Here we go, got it here.
Together.
And I think that's testament not only to Taylor Swift's sense of humour and the global success that she is, but also to Barbara's legacy.
Absolutely,
yeah.
She's amazing.
Why not?
She gave me she was my first ever live TV on T4, yeah. That day.
Really?
She was so me and Sheppy, yeah, and she was so marvellous.
Ross, we're really excited. Thank you so much for joining us. It's called Ross Kemp. Matthew in Britain starts Tuesday, 10th of September at 9 p.m. on Sky History. Don't miss it.
Very well.
That was good, wasn't it?
Very good.
Thank you.
Really thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
Now, the thing is, Marie, people will say, "Oh, told you so, told you she couldn't last it, couldn't do all of that." But we do have to point out, you have 8 children, right? We can go into the rights and wrongs of that and the wheres and whys all we want, but you've got 8 children. You're doing a part-time course where you're trying to learn to be a motor mechanic as well. And you made this vow, I'm going to come off benefits and I'm going to work solidly over the weekend as a care worker, really hard work. And at the end of all that, you're saying, folks, do you know what? I'm not super mum. I can't do all of this.
I don't think I can. I mean, it's hard enough going to college 3 days a week and gaining. That is my main goal, is to do mechanics. I mean, caring, I love the job, but it's just not for me at all. The hours are long, the pay's not good. I mean, I'm a carer to 8 children as it is. I can't do no more.
So who looks after the children when you're working?
Dad with Dad of a weekend, yeah.
So they go to him. So all 8 children are from the same father,
they are,
and he has them every weekend.
He does,
so that you can work.
Catch level 2 diploma. It's a hard course. They say it's the hardest course to gain your qualifications, and then going into work Friday night. Saturday morning, you're doing your first call at 6 o'clock in the morning, then finishing at 11, then 6 o'clock Sunday morning, finishing at 11. So it is long hours.
It is, Marie, but I know there will be people now shouting at the television, saying, well, my children are at school, I'm at college, or I'm at work, and at the weekend, you know, my husband has the kids and I'm working in a supermarket or I'm working in wherever, and they're doing long hours as well, possibly longer than you. And yet they still do it. So why do you think you should be any different to that?
It's mentally draining for myself. It's hard enough having 8 on your own. I mean, you get the perfect lifestyle of where mum goes out to work or dad goes out to work and the other parent stays at home, but I haven't got that life.
Well, very few
I am
people
on my own. I'm trying to better myself by getting my qualifications.
No, and I applaud you for that.
What she's saying is she hasn't got a spare minute.
No,
you know, work and play. There's absolutely no me time there in all of that. And in fairness to you, you are trying to get a qualification as a motor mechanic,
which I want to do,
which you intend to do.
Yeah.
No, I totally, and I applaud you for that, and that's been your dream.
Yeah.
To, you know, and I'm sure it is a very difficult course, but I just know what people will be saying, which is, you know, everybody works hard now. Where has this left you with benefits then? So you're saying you think it's better, you know, it's easier for me to just be at home and be on benefits, which, you know, a lot of people say that's what's wrong with the system.
It is.
But there's no incentive to work.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, it took me 2 years to find this job and there was no help in the background whatsoever. You have to obviously go out yourself and find it, and with no qualifications and saying, oh, I've got 8 children, they're like, forget it. You're not going to turn up for work at all.
Yeah. Right, OK, let's listen. Everybody, as Ruth says, has their opinions. Rob, it doesn't make their opinions right, they're only opinions. Rob, how dare this woman manipulate the benefit system at a time when families are struggling to make ends meet? Do you feel that you are manipulating the benefit system to your advantage?
No.
You don't?
I've obviously gone the other way. I've found work and I've obviously gone to college and raising 8 children on my own, so I'm trying my hardest to better myself, you know.
So we should say, Rob, she's doing nothing wrong. You could say it's the system.
It is the system. It is. I mean,
Did you lose benefits by going back to work?
Yeah.
Like what?
I was told working 16 hours, you come out of the cap, the benefit cap. So obviously paying full rent, help towards school meals and council tax. So I thought, let me find this job, come out of the cap, because it was hard paying full rent, very, very hard. So come out of the cap, that's what they said, and I found out it wasn't even that. It was a complete lie.
Do you think the main problem really was the thing you should have thought about was the 8 children? Yeah,
but everybody's life's different. This is my lifestyle now.
Isn't there a consequence to everything? Don't you have to think whether you can actually afford children or not before you have them. I just put it out there.
And I think there will be people saying that, is that, you know, 1 child, 2 child, 3, 4, but, you know, 8 is an awful lot. And they say, you know, don't have children if you can't afford to go to work and bring them up without help from the state. And there will be a lot of people who maybe would like another child, but think, well, we can't afford it because it would mean one of us giving up a wage or something. So can you understand?
I can
why
fully. I'm not
think...
ignorant against that whatsoever. I mean, you get a lot of workers that are there doing hours and hours each week to obviously pay for their children and their house.
Those 16 hours that you have to do, and you do it at the weekends, are you managing to complete the 16 hours?
No, not fully. Because I get a call from Dad, or one of the kids are ill, or we can't cover this call, it's out of your area, this person don't want you at their premises, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm getting all of that.
How many days have you, you know, how often do you have to phone up and say, I can't come in, one of the kids
Very
is
regular.
Ill?
Very regular.
So you're not even completing those 16 hours, really?
I have been asked to do a full week, so it's one client, 16 hours a week, 7 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock. That would be perfect for me, but then obviously the 8 kids.
But then people are going to say, well, you're here today, so who's looking after the children today?
They're in school, and 2 are ill.
2 are ill?
Yeah,
so
with Dad.
They're with their dad?
I've been out since 5 o'clock this morning. I'm not lazy at all.
And do you intend to have a boob job?
I do.
Paid for by your...
By my wages.
Your wages?
Yeah. Yeah.
OK.
But would your wages be paying for your children?
No, I mean, it's child tax credit and working tax credit that pays for the kids.
I've got 10 seconds left. Why do you do these interviews, Marie, when you know people will hate you for them?
I think it's a voice, it's more than anything. A lot of people are scared to come out.
Okay.
And being a single parent is the hardest job ever, and to find a job is even harder.
For more of the same, just click here, and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.